What's good, everybody? What's good? Sorry, kind of had a little bit of a late start just trying to get things together for the day. Hold on a moment. Let's see. I'm going to have to do a little bit of quick cleaning to make sure everything is good, that we're all heard. Uh, some reason is saying that I am not having a smooth stream, and I need to know why. Seems like everything is relatively good on my end. So, anyway, people, people. Welcome to an episode, of course, of Opinionated. With yours truly, I am Resla, and hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday. Yes, today is Saturday. It is the last day of the month until we start hitting that fourth quarter, guys. That fourth quarter, if in case you didn't make any last strive to try to do your best to clean up the rest of this year, here's your chance. Here's your chance. Listen, you're on the tail end. Anything that you've been messing up on, time to start fixing that. Today is gonna be pretty much a stream where we can just chop it up, talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. Don't have anything too planned out. It's a really decent day. I don't really want to saddle anybody with anything too difficult, too strenuous. And I do want to kind of clean up what's been going on my feed because I've been so busy this week. I barely had time to take a look at anything on social media. And the few nights that I've had available to myself, I've just been like taking a look at other people's channels, maybe hopping up on a few panels, just having conversations, things like that. So that's been my. Oh, I see what the issue is now. Okay, I see what my streaming issue is now. Hold on, give me a moment, folks. I will sort this out right now. Give me a moment. Forget, forget. We're open panel today. We are open panel today. So quick second to do this. This should help clear up the issue. The key word is should. So give a quick second for everything to get back into sync. All right. So I think we're good now. Of course, as always, walking into the building, CCD, thanks for showing up. Thank you for showing up. And like I said, a lot of today is just going to be about sorting through what's been going on. We could talk to a whole bunch of different stuff. I have no idea what's been going on um, throughout the week, even probably a little bit longer than that as well. Mainly because I've been either filling out different requests that's been coming through when it comes to me doing this whole freelance thing that I do, having conversations, and I haven't even had the time to really start walking through, to start looking through things in social media. And then, like I said, the nights that I am there, I just want to relax, chill, or I'm doing work. So outside of that, I'm hopefully that everybody has been having a good time. Everybody has been having a good day. Here in New York, it's been one of those weird, funky Saturdays. Looks like it would be sunny out, but it's not necessarily. So I don't know. We'll see it as time progressed. I was as I was getting ready to try to prep for the show, I realized I didn't have enough time as I tried to run into the door, and then I said I wanted to be able to clean up some of the things that's been going um, on my feed, which look like Hot Ones is one that's first week feeds has been showing up a lot on my stuff. Let me actually do a quick refresh, and then while going through some of this, there are some main topics that have been popping up. But I'll take a look at that to see exactly what are my particular thoughts on it, and then we run from there. So the first thing I want to talk about is, oh, that's interesting. You know what? No, I think I'll start with this one. OG, what's going on? It's popping up, and he says hit the like button. Yes, if you're walking in here, do us a favor, folks, and just hit the like button. So Anton on his Millionaire Morning Show, he has a topic that talked about. Man says that this is so funny because I had a conversation earlier this week with somebody, rather young person, but it says that he can no longer work a 9 to 5. I wonder what was being said about that. So hold on, we're gonna take a quick look at it. In case you guys don't know who Anton Daniels is. Anton Daniels is a business person, also a content creator himself, has been doing this for a while. And he has particular takes on particular subjects. I think he's been really blowing up of late because I know I've been seeing him like some news segments and things like that. But it's always good for content creators who are getting out into the world because quite frankly, mainstream media isn't doing it anymore. And sometimes if you happen to be putting yourself up there and doing a lot of work and becoming an influential figure, hopefully for the positive. That's no shot or anything, but hopefully for the positive because people would like to say things like the negatives, like Andrew Tate and stuff like that. But if you do have people who are quote doing things in a particular manner or are a guiding light, hopefully we have people that are stepping out from these spaces and being said things. But if you happen to be an actual guiding light, I think that's something that you might want to be um, taking a look at for yourself, especially if you are someone in the mainstream media, because I think these are particular voices that we can have. But I have no idea what Anton's going to say in this. But it's funny if it's going down the route that I think it's gonna go, right? Then I had a conversation with a young man earlier this week, and it was over a Zoom call where we were having a conversation about other signs of coaching that he's been putting a lot of hard work into, all this stuff. But as I'm having a conversation with him, I'm also realizing that he's not utilizing his soft skills in a in an effective manner. And then one of the things that came up is that, maybe he should just stop working. One of the things that he says that he doesn't want to work 9 to 5. Um, Part of the challenge that he was trying to get around is challenges that I think that we all get through or we all question at some point. And that's number one, do you even really need to work that long? Um, and this goes into a conversation when it comes to a lot of people because there is this push for in order for you to be the best, in order for you to do da da da, you must sacrifice the majority of your time. Let's be honest, you already sleep a third or whatever your life sleeping. The majority of the time goes to putting that time into somebody else just to be able to quote survive. And people are really questioning where do they get to actually live life. And that question is coming up a lot more when it comes to the younger people. Older people just seem to believe that's what you had to do, and not everybody has been as fortunate to figure out what their balance is in life because you're spending a lot of time working for other people who are telling you what you should need to be doing in order to be successful, and you spend less time actually having the time to learn about yourself. And it's easy for you to give your entire life to a business, to an industry, and let's be honest, businesses are not loyal to you. People within businesses can be loyal to you, but the four walls that you walk into is not going to be. You will get clipped with no problem. Rest and assure of that. Uh, Outside of that, Sky, thanks for showing up. Got Sky Angel walked in. Thank you for showing up. Uh, I was trying to tell the guy like if you don't wish to work a 9 to 5, then you need to either a come up with your own business or you need to find something that is going to be of different income, passive income, or something that you're willing to do, and therefore you can work at your job part time or whatever, or or you place yourself in a particular position where you're able to leverage, like say contract, like someone like myself, where you're able to work based on what your actual job tasks are supposed to be instead of just filling in time and getting task as assigned. So I have no idea what's going to be said in this, so let's get a quick gander at this.
I've been getting a lot of videos in my algorithm of people that are basically saying that they can no longer work a 9 to 5. So I sorted through them. It was like 4 of them, and I wanted to find the shortest one of the one that we will probably not identify with the most as far as the demographic of the person. So I picked a white boy instead of the black woman or the black man and all of this stuff. And my godson, not grandson, godson. Okay. And I wanted to go through this. And so we're just going to spend a quick 10 minutes to get to this. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. A man that says that he can no longer work a 9 to 5 job. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another video journal. I did a video like this not too long ago. Today I had a work meeting and it was the most, I have never felt this much dread in my life before. And I don't know, it got to a point where I was like, we were talking about how we're all excited for our vacation. That's all people talk about at work, waiting for vacation. They live to wait for vacation. I said, I only have 2 weeks of vacation and like, it's 10 days. That's all you get. You work your whole year to give your time and your soul to someone else to help build their company. And in exchange, you get 10 days. Ooh. So it's like, wow, you're the rest of the time, you're just slaving away like for a company. And then you get 10 days. Ooh. And he said, yeah, welcome to the real world. But you're still young. You've barely started in this career. You've only been doing it for about 3-4 years now. Maybe in a few years, in 3-4 years, you'll have 3 weeks, and then when you're like that other guy, and he pointed to a colleague, he said, "Well, you'll after 15 years of working, you'll get 4 weeks. He's about to get 5. What? So you're telling me if I slave away and I give all my time to someone else, and all the other disadvantages that come with having a 9 to 5, well, more 8s to 5 because my lunch isn't paid. You're telling me I can get 20 days? Ooh, really? The worst part is exchanging time for money. There's commute. If you have your own company, you can deduct your commute to work, right? As an employee, you're taxed before you get the money, so you can't deduct anything. So people think like you're supposed to do this. This is because you're taught this in school. You're taught this from family, from friends. It's like you're supposed to do this. This is the only way. I said this in my other video. The only time like I'll recommend a traditional path is if you've got something that makes you happy that you want to.
No. I'm laughing because I hear this a lot, and I've heard this across the board. It's not just younger people; it's older people as well. Um, it's funny because the whole. I'll be honest with you right now. I have never worked an entire fiscal year. I've never worked a fiscal year where the most I've ever had was just 10 days off in the entire year, whether it's back to back or whether it's in increments. It's never happened. That's not to say that there wasn't a time or that it does not happen in some particular countries or even the industries. It's just it's never happened to me. Now there are people who are quote workhorses and they have other pressures that they throw on themselves because I'm guilty. I have been one of these people. I have wholeheartedly been one of these people who have I it's not survivor's guilt, it's workers' guilt. It's workers' guilt. And what happens is that because especially if you are the top dog in your department, if you are the top dog, what happens is because you're so good at your job, you know that every time you leave work, someone is calling you, someone is bothering you, someone is sending you emails, people are calling you off the clock, people are calling you during a date, people are calling you when you are out with your friends, people are calling you while you getting it in. Like people are calling you at the most, you know, inappropriate of times to ask for advice, to ask for help, for asking if you can do something that they didn't finish up with the entire amount of time that they had, probably plus some of they were doing overtime. And it's like if you want to take time to yourself, you start having this dread like if I take time off, how much bullshit is going to be waiting for me when I get back? I'm afraid to take off time because if I do, I'm gonna get blamed for a lot of shit that's going bad, or I'm gonna have double, triple the work that I have to do now because other people couldn't lift their part. You know, it it's to a point where you have particular people that's working for you, and and there's people across the board in every industry like that, right? Some people, you know, it's the same way they say it is. It's 20% that do the majority of the work. It's 20% doing like they say 80% or 70% of the work. If you find yourself in that position, you really have to consider what you're putting in and is it worth it? And should you be, quote, moving yourself out that industry? Because you can end up putting yourself in a position where you, quote, are the workhorse. And while other people see it and they acknowledge that you are the workhorse, don't think that they won't take advantage of you for it. But the problem is that when you take so much onto yourself, when you put so much on yourself, that you start saying that the only way we can look good as a unit is if essentially I'm the one carrying you because other people are not doing their job. The worst feeling in the world is that the worst feeling in the world when working among a team is that you cannot get growth, you cannot get opportunity because you will only be held to the standard of your team. It's a bad feeling. It really is. There's nothing worse, especially as a person like myself who has led plenty of teams, been in leadership in multiple industries, and you're being told that your work is immaculate. Your communication up to par, your emails are good, your conferences are good, all this stuff. You have no problem in your workload. But when we take a look at your team though, they're not really up to the standards that we would like. And because of that, we're really having to reevaluate where we would like to have you on the promotional rung. And you're like, is my team putting in the work that they are? Yeah, but it's not meeting the threshold that we would like to see. Now think about it with most companies. You're not able to then all of a sudden just quote the retraining because retraining doesn't really do much these days. Retraining is not the way it used to be. Training, you had an ample amount of time with particular people or particular groups, and you were able to step by step go through the process of making sure that these people were the most equipped, the most official, the most competent for their roles. That's not the truth anymore. You know what the training is now? I come to work, I type on the keyboard, I assign you a day, a time as to when you can take your training. You come to work, you gotta do training today, and then you sit in front of a computer and you finger fuck the mouse, scrolling through everything. And then at the end, where it tells you get the answers wrong, guess what you get to do? You get to retake it and finger fuck all the areas that you didn't do before, and then you probably fail it again. And then for your third time, you say, I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention because you've been writing it down like a cheat sheet, right? And you finger fuck that mouse again, hitting all the zigzag areas, multiple choice, because it's never really written down. It's all multiple choice. And then it says, congratulations, you passed, you're certified. And because you have to hit a quota of saying that how many people are within compliance of having training, now you are officially trained. Ask you the real question in real life, despite the fact that it just said you took training and you have no clue what's going on. I can't tell you how many times that I have not only dealt with that being in teams that I have had to coach, but dealing with other people's teams that I've had to coach as well. And I mean from very department specific development patterns to the most general. I've had plenty of times where I've had people who worked for years in an industry. Years. I'm not talking about like 2 years. I mean like almost 10 years, 7 years, 8 years. And then when you ask them if shit really went down in this place, where is the evacuation meter place? And they can't tell you. I'm like, wait, you've been in this industry for 8 years. Yes. You've been in this very building, never mind traveling or whatever. You've been in this building for 8 years and you still don't know where to meet up in case of an emergency? How did you survive? How did you make it this long? And then of course you run to the people who they think by just surviving by seniority because people have come out, they left, they got opportunities, got clipped, that they should get a job in management. This is not the case. And I've run into people just like this man, young and old, who believe that, oh, I only get 10 days out, whatever. That's not everybody. Most companies, in fact, I know now, they have switched to a cap system. Because here's the truth of the matter. For people that tend to, and I don't know where he's working that, quote, still does this. And I'm getting off into a tangent because I have these conversations a lot in business. But there are plenty of people who I see that a lot of companies that they put a cap on your pay time off, your PTO, so that when you reach a cap, it is an incentive for you to take your time off. Because once you hit your cap, you're not able to accrue any more time. Why would you be working and not accruing any more time? It forces you to take time off. Because there was a time when if you had unlimited PTO gathering, you would rank that son of a bitch up. And then when the company really needed you, you know what you would do? You would take time off for like 3 months, 2 months, 3 months. And you would actually become a burden, um, unnecessarily, not through your own doing, but you could become a burden because when they need all hands on deck, you're not around. Especially if you're one of those workhorses like I was, and like many people are. You're needed for your insight. And here you are taking an entire month, or 2 months, or 3 months off. And I think this is the thing that a lot of companies started doing, because when you have people that are workhorses, because I'm jumping on the workhorses because I've been one of those people. I've been one of the people who have been a victim of burnout, of doing it to myself. When you accrue so much time and you don't take any time off for yourself because now you feel like it's your personal responsibility to, quote, carry your department, you mentally damage yourself. I I like the idea, even though it's unfair. I like the idea of your manager taking a look at your time and saying, I'm forcing you to go on vacation because I can't have you going postal one day. I need you to go. I need you to take time off. I need you to go because you're doing the most. You are doing the most. And it, a lot of people just really don't do the part that they need to do. Now, to this young man, if he feels like um, he's only getting, quote, 10 days out of the year, I ask you, where are you working? Why haven't you leveraged your time off to be a little bit differently? Because he says about 4 years, like 4 years or so. Again, I don't, you're talking about 365 days. So 365 days, not including vacation, not including any sick time being off. You're talking about 24 of those days being really allocated to yourself being off. So you're talking about 260 days. 260 days, you're roughly working 260 days. And you're saying that you only get 10 days off to yourself? No, I don't see it. And if this is not the type of industry that, not even industry, if this is not the type of business that you would like to work in, why haven't you found another place to work? I'm pretty sure you're not handcuffed, or you had to sign a contract that said that you have to work there for 4 years. I think with enough of those years, you have accumulated enough experience that you could move to another industry. And you can put that as something on the table. Did you ask when you decide to look for other jobs, what exactly is your paid time off, discretionary time, like, or your increment of times, and how many days can you take off? These are also the problems that people have when they don't ask questions. But again, often a little bit of tangent. I can tell you I've had plenty of these conversations, all kind of fashions or whatever, because I have to look at it not only on an employee aspect but also on a company aspect, and it's a whole big thing. But maybe there's something else I'm not thinking about. So I wonder what Anton's gonna say about it.
The chief. I know someone who wants to become a lawyer because that's what they want in life, and that's their meaning to live. Some people want to be a teacher. Some people want to be a doctor and save lives. Then do it. Do that. But I can't. I can't. Get taxed the hell out of what you make before you even make it. Whereas if you have your own company, if you're smart with that money, you can make that money grow before you pay taxes at the end of the year.
There's a lot of assumptions that we have to put into this video, but let's put it in perspective, and then we're going to watch the second half of the video because we're about halfway through it. So let's put it in perspective. What he's basically saying is this pathway that they're laying out for him, because there's different versions of a 9 to 5, right? So we're going to assume that he's in a dead-end job, but there's different versions of a 9 to 5. Tim Cook works a 9 to 5 as the CEO of Apple. You understand what I'm saying? So when you compare it, all 9 to 5s, first of all, are not created equal. Secondly, You're trading in your time for money, but you're supposed to be leveraging those resources to ultimately invest in yourself so that you are not required to do something that you don't want to do for the rest of your life. Third, you have to start somewhere in order to get the experiences, and that's supposed to motivate you to continue to invest in yourself, which allows for you to get a bigger bag and have more freedom, because then you won't be just a cog or a wheel in a cog, and you'll actually have options and choices. Fourth, a lot of people define the job as their identity because they spend so much time at it. A job is merely there for you to exchange your time for resources, and you use those resources to do whatever it is that you want to do for it. For housing, buying cars, feeding your face, protecting your family, getting health care, all of this stuff. A job is not supposed to be there to make you feel good about yourself. And this is the thing that I think that most people are forgetting. You know, they're used to a time where things weren't as technologically advanced, where you would work 30 years, get a pension, retire, and then you could do whatever it is that you wanted to do for the rest of your life. The fact of the matter is, A, if you don't work, you don't eat. But more importantly, to speak to his bigger point, the issue is that they keep championing entrepreneurship, which is not a bad thing. I teach people how to open up their own businesses myself. But the problem is that most businesses fail. And the reason why you go into a job most of the time is because you don't have the bandwidth, the capital, the dedication, the love for it, or the willingness to not make money in your business while you're building it. And then at the same time, understanding that you may not be profitable the minute that you open up your business. And so it takes hard work. And guess what? When you have your own business, you don't get days off. You don't get paid PTO, whether it's 10 days, whether it's 2 weeks, whether it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 5 weeks. That is a benefit to working for a corporate structure or for somebody else that you then negotiate. But I don't get to negotiate. Guess what? Mika, I love her.
He's not lying 100% there. When you have your own business, you're not entitled to those days off. In fact, let's just be honest. When you put yourself in a particular position to say that you are a high level, not high level, but yeah, high level. You're a high level on the corporate scale, and you start running your areas into being salary. Technically, you should have a different mindset as to how you are allocating your time and how you are allocating how you're even being paid in the first place. Just putting it out there. Like when I started working salary, I no longer thought like an hourly person. It, my time was not divvied up into how many hours I am working throughout a day. Because anytime I walk out the door, some bullshit can happen. I'll be right back in the door. While people have been sitting at home, Christmas time, freaking holiday time, when pipes burst or there's a possible break in, I've literally had to walk into industries, had to get to outside lock boxes to get inside buildings to walk through because I hear there's a possible break in, calling in local authorities, and we're sweeping the entire business to find out that the thing that set off the fucking alarms, like cats and raccoons and shit like that. And I'm like, I got up, I traveled here for about an hour, maybe even close to two, to go check out the sweep this place, then bother local resources like the police department for fucking because the alarm company calls me in the morning to let me know that there's a possible break in. I'm one of the people that have to set up the rules and everything. So what happens in case people want to do protests? We don't know if these people might go to particular areas, but all that stuff. You know, when you're up in the area of salary, people come to me and when they want to go into a salary position, they go, well, "How much should I ask for an hour?" And I say, "That's cute, but it's the wrong mindset because when you're salary, you're not necessarily paid by 40 hours. Well, you are. You are paid by 40 hours, but let's be honest, more than likely you're going to be putting in over that time. So you need to consider how are you being paid literally by the hour. And I mean from when you sleep, when you fuck, when you shit, all of that. Now when I start drumming this into people's heads, they start thinking that's crazy. And I say, well, you need to consider yourself by how many hours that you're going through an entire year. because you're looking at it as if you're going through 40 hours and that's the most that you'll always be working as a salary coworker throughout the time. When the truth of the matter is that if you're running a team or if you have multiple departments or if you're needed across the board or somebody is go through emergency, you have to drag your ass inside the office. You're going to have to work when you're tired. You're going to have to work when you've already used up all your time. And guess what? When you used up all your time, you're not getting paid extra. You're not getting overtime. You are salary. You are locked in. So when you are first making that decision to go negotiate for what your salary is going to be, you need to take into the factors of not just what it's going to sound like at the end of the year. You have to factor in all the time that you will, and keep in mind, let me say this again, you will be sacrificing extra time to do so. So instead of thinking about it in terms of 40 hours in the week, you should be considering every freaking hour in the year. 8,760 hours. What is your time worth? What is your time worth for 8,660 hours a year? Like what is it worth? Now some people when you start breaking those things down, they're not ready. They're not they're not ready for it. Wait, I didn't even know that was that many hours in a year. You want this position. You want to be sitting up to someone like next to me. You want to be sitting up to one of the freaking marketing directors. You want to be sitting up next to HR. You want to be sitting up next to the head of sales or whatever. Yeah, start thinking that way. You're thinking about it in terms of the short amount of calendar years based on an hourly perspective as an employee, as a normal hourly employee. When you go salary, you have to start thinking about your dedication to the business. And that is not 40 hours. And I've had plenty of people that when they turn around, they are salary and they complain about how much they don't have time for themselves. I say, then you need to take a step down. You need to come down to something with a little less time pressure because this is what you signed up for. It's unfair, but you wanted the big bucks. This is what it comes with. So when I have people that come to me and they ask, well, what do you think is a good asking price? And I go, it's whatever you feel you're worth. Not about how much you love the company, but ask yourself how much the company loves you. What's your asking price? And then we go down the whole steps. And I always mention 8,760. Huh? 8,760 is how many hours are in a year? What's your time worth? And I need you to sit down, think about that, and then come back to me. And then we'll talk about it. Again, I am not a person who is responsible for how much you make. But I can be a person that when I speak to those people to make you think differently about how you're approaching your position. And because of that, I have had a lot of people angry at me. A lot of people angry at me. But, you know, hey, and you're right. A lot of people they don't really consider what they're really asking for. They think about the money. They don't really think about the consequences that come with that. Because the first thing I tell people is like, keep in mind, you move into that position, you're also moving into a position where you are closer to the headman's axe. You don't get the same amount of protections as an employee does. You are held to a higher standard, which means you are closer to being shoved off the cliff. Are you ready for that? You are ready. You are in a position where you will be misunderstood intentionally. Are you ready for that? We are in a position where you literally have to adopt in your mantra CYA, cover your ass. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to put yourself in a position where you can limit yourself because you can't be as mean as you want to and at the same time always be paranoid? Yes, paranoia. Because someone is always trying to undercut you because people love underdogs. I always use the stripper analogy. You are not in the pole position and everybody else wants you to drop out of the pole position. Because people at the top, just like celebrities and such, people love to see them fall. They don't like to see people in the pole position. They clap when they get into the position. But now they're looking to see how you're going to fall. Because your fall anyone's fault who's in that position. They're the ones who have the most pressure. They're the ones who have the most to prove. I got here, now I need to prove it. Because I do run into people that turn around and you know what their biggest fears are? What happens if I go for this position and I get it and I'm not ready? And that will stop people from even applying. Everybody I see get up in that position, it's too much for them. They all end up quitting or they all end up getting fired. And I asked myself a really good question. Do you feel like you know more than that person? Yes. You've been here longer than that person? Yes. Do you sure you really want to take that position on based on your own skepticism? I still feel like I should still do it. If that's what you really feel and you do feel like you're a better candidate, I can't see why you shouldn't go for it. And there are some people who are quote not ready for the position. They take it and it's more than what they ever dreamed and they're actually good at it. That pressure that they receive builds diamonds. But here's what I tell people who claim that they're not ready for it, but they have the experience. I said, when you get into that position, if it's too much for you, you can step down, right? And it blows their minds. Like they almost have a brain hemorrhage in the moment. I can step down? Yeah. And then keep in mind, most people, when you get your position, you got about 6 months to a year of accident forgiveness. Because you can say, sorry, I'm new. Unless you came in getting hired in that position, if you're building up with inside the company, you can literally say, I didn't know. Sorry, I'm new. I'm new to this position. You can get accident forgiveness so long as it's not royally fucking the company. If you can say, I didn't know, sorry, forgive me, I'll know next time, people will accept apologies, especially if they start seeing results afterwards. Now, after that year goes by, it's all on you. Which is why I also tell people when they first get into a company or they first get into a role, I need you to fuck up 1,000 times. I need you to fuck up as many times as possible. And they look at me, you just want to see me fail. No, I need you to fuck up as many times now because in a year, you will not have those same excuses to fall back on. They will say, you've been doing this for a year. Why is it you felt like you didn't know that? I need you to make all the mistakes. All of them now. I need you to intentionally go out. What do we like to say? Uh, uh, best to ask for forgiveness. Like, fuck it up. Ask for forgiveness. You're gonna most likely be given that. But after that first year, after your big trial period, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get it. And again, close to the headman's axe. Because all they're gonna want is results, and they're not gonna want excuses. So literally, like, this is my thing. I teach people that mindset. I teach people that mindset because I had to learn it myself. Because I had to turn around to get a mentor to teach me that. And it does wonders for people. So the idea of people out here, as what was going on with this young man, and at the point where Anton's bringing this, like, you have all these young people that turn around and say, I think I should leave my job because I think maybe I'm better suited as an entrepreneur. You're not. You're not. You have no idea. You have no clue. No clue whatsoever. And then you have so many people that complain about businesses and they don't understand how much the business sacrifices on their end for them. Oh, I don't make enough money because of such and such. The business pays damn near double for you. Why aren't you taking your time off? To give people all this time, and this to be honest with you, most people are saving up their PTO because it's a just in case shit happens. It's a just in case fund. Just in case I get fired, just in case shit really hit the fan, I can rely on my PTO. And I'm going, that shit will not last long. And that's why I wholeheartedly agree with Anton. You should be working for a company so that therefore you can take around and turn those resources that you receive, because that's why you're trading your money for time. Not to stay there, to build something for yourself so that you can have more freedom. Most people don't do that. Most people get comfortable. This is why I forget what movie it is. I think it's a Clooney movie, but he sits down and he says, how much were you compensated for you to give up on your dream? And that's the truth. And most people don't go in there thinking about that, especially when you're young. You walk in there because you feel like you need a job. And then you find yourself 20, 30 years later finding out like, I never really did anything I wanted to do. I just did what other people told me because I worked a job for all of my life. I never really got to know myself. I only got to know the company. I got to know what other people wanted. Just saying. It's just the truth. Most people, and that's one of the things that we have a conversation on, because most people know more about other people than they do themselves. And you should really be trying to figure out what are your likes and dislikes, especially within a company. Most people who I know and I've sat down and interviewed with still treat interviews as if they're the ones on the desperate side of things. I've literally had people who were angry at me when we sit down later on and we have a conversation. And they're like, yeah, when I came into the interview, I was so nervous and I had my best suit on, I had my best dress on. And they're like, well, what about you? How'd you went to your interview? I said, you really want to know? They're like, yeah. Listen, I didn't have enough time to get dressed or anything. And I literally went to the job interview literally with some jeans. I had a short sleeve shirt and I had a leather jacket on. And I just put on my best cologne, which I have an abundance of. And they were like, hey, you got hired? I was like, it, here's the conversation that you're forgetting. Are they picking you up based on how you look? They should, especially in whatever kind of position that they should. But are they asking you, are they actually trying to look at you based on what's up here? If you can articulate yourself in a manner that lets them know that everything they're looking for is here, what you're wearing doesn't matter. Because most people, after their freaking initial job interview, they're not wearing those clothes on a regular basis. Unless you're really in a high corporate sales or you're going out in those areas with it, you're not wearing that shit all the time. So they need to worry about the person that they're going to see in everyday attire, every day when they walk into the door. What's their mindset like? What's it going to be like after the novelty has worn off and they no longer see the person ambassador? And actually, that just brings forth another conversation in my mind, but we'll rock on that some other time. Let me see what if Anton's going to cook a little bit more.
God bless her. One of the best people that I've ever worked with and is a phenomenal content creator and is continuing to get better every single day. Mika needs a vacation. And I understand that. And she's willing to make concessions. And she was like, listen, if you need me to jump on Tuesday show, I absolutely can jump on Tuesday show. I said, come on. Come on, girl, get on Tuesday show. I love you on Tuesday. And it was a phenomenal show last night. But Mika is going to take a vacation. Guess what? I got ownership issues, meaning that I have to make sure or figure out what I do around Mika because usually she's live streaming with me on Friday and Thursday nights. But guess what? The show has to go on. Q. Sometimes she's traveling outside of the country or sometimes her power is not working or whatever. I don't get the luxury of being able to do that as an owner. Everything I have to do is around my schedule. When I got the phone call in order to be able to take a flight to go and get my Rolex that I picked up over in Miami, I took that flight in the afternoon. I was streaming at night and I had to do it after the Millionaire Morning Show because we don't miss. My point is that people are glorifying entrepreneurship or starting your own company, but it's not all peaches and cream. There is going to be pros and cons to both. I know people that make $250,000 a year as software engineers and they work from home and they love their 9 to 5. So it just depends. The context is that your 9 to 5 is dependent on what it is that you want out of life, but also it is a means to an end and is an opportunity for you to make money and resources. And so you may want to invest in yourself. So either A, you can get a better 9 to 5, or B, you can then use those resources in order to put it in other assets so that you can work for yourself. But you still gonna have to have the work ethic, and it's much harder. 10 times harder to work for yourself than it is to actually go on to work and do it for that and do it for somebody else. That's just the honest to God truth. Let's continue to hear what he got to say.
So you win. Plus, money's worth less as time goes on. So that tax amount you need to pay, it's worth less later. So it's better to pay it later than immediately. When you get taxed before your salary, that's when you lose the most. And then you're left with nothing. Because the moment you quit your job, like I quit tomorrow, there's nothing left.
Congratulations.
You haven't built up something for yourself that you keep.
Somebody said that's a little disingenuous to call Tim Cook's job a 9 to 5. Guess what? Tim Cook actually worked himself up through the ranks. So he worked as a 9 to 5 employee until he got to the point where he was actually the Apple CEO. And he does work a 9 to 5. And so I think that y'all also forget how he started. Y'all forget the work that he put in prior to. You forget all of the like he didn't wake up as a CEO. And a lot of people want to complain and they want to compare their lives and just go straight to the end goal. And that's not how it works. And I get it. I'm not dissing him. I'm not saying that he's wrong for saying that he can no longer work a 9 to 5. There are some people that's just not
built
they
for it.
don't want to do that. They can't do it. It's something that's gnawed them, and some people that are a little bit more special, you know what I'm saying? Or they may have this inkling to just be a serial entrepreneur or to go into it or to dive into something in particular. And I commend them for that. If you can quit your job and figure it out for yourself and do it, that's dope. But what I'm saying is that there's pros and cons to both, right? And I think that everybody look at this title or they look at these videos and they take it as a blanket statement without getting the context behind how you go about doing things and how you can be successful and how you grow and how you can get to the point to where you no longer can have a 9 to 5. But at the same time, what are the pros and cons of not having a 9 to 5?
For yourself, you work all this time, you leave, and that's it. They're thankful you did it for them, but you're left with nothing. They're not going to be like, hey, for all the hard work you did, we're going to pay you a monthly salary of like 10% of what you earned total just to like keep you going. No, it's over. My colleague, when I told him it's really
why do you believe that I'm sorry. Why do you believe that outside of what your base actually is, that you should then be receiving a monthly stipend to quote motivate you to keep staying in the damn door? What the again, another person, again, he's young, he probably doesn't know, but another person who doesn't understand, even if you're dealing with a person who owns that business, you don't put nearly as much effort as the person who has to sit there and go through all the process of making sure that the doors stay open, staying in actual compliance, hiring of people, making sure that all the budgets are actually taken care of after all the revenues come in, to make sure that you actually get paid. Remember, they're paying up on you, also divvying out that part for insurance, making sure that all the maintenance and everything that happens in that building is taken to, paying for the actual organization of all those different people to make sure that you're actually doing your job properly, paying for all the actual shit to make sure that your assets actually stay within safe parameters so that you're not turning around to get injured, so that you don't become a damn liability for them and then want to sue the damn company. They're putting in quadruple what the hell you're doing for just walking in the door. I think the very least that you can do is put in your 9 to 5, quit bitching with the money that you do break, that you agreed to, by the way. You weren't forced into that position. You agreed. You signed the contract. You signed to be an employee. You should be taking those resources and you should be allocating it and putting it in a better position for yourself, so that, quote, even if you were there for 9 to 5, or even if you didn't want to, if you really put it, if you were really able to manage your money really well, you wouldn't even have to be working full time. You can work part time. If your particular industry that you're working on is worth doing part time, you'll be able to do that. But ask yourself this question: with the quote 9 to 5 that you're working at, are you doing anything else aside of that? Or do you just work your 9 to 5 and then once you get home, you lollygag for the rest of your time and then you just go to sleep and then you wake up and do it again? What are you doing when you're not having that when you have that extra gap outside of sleep and outside of work? What are you doing?
depressing.
PM 1776 says, men specifically, we make the most income in our lives from mid to late 30s through our early to, no, you don't. That's a lie. That's not true. Your highest earning years is in your late 50s to early 60s as a man. That is statistically a fact. Men, you make the majority of your money, your highest earning years is in your late 50s, early 60s. It is not in your 30s and the 40s. It is not in your 30s and 40s.
Not
It is
in
in
your
your
20s
late
either.
50s to early 60s. That is where you make the bulk, the biggest amount in your earnings for majority of men in your life.
He says, yeah, well, you don't think about it because then you'll want to die. But you get older and you learn to suppress the feeling. So you is that life? Is that what life's supposed to be? Learn to suppress the feeling of wanting to die? That's not nice. I'm happy.
Lordy, Lord, Lord, Lord. If you're at listen, if you if you're at a job where you're waking up in the morning, you're wiping the coal at your eye, splashing water in your face, you stare yourself down in the mirror, and you just go, "I want to die." Why are you going? If the key that your thing that you're saying is that it's because of your job, why are you going to work? Why are you going to work? Little tip for people: do you know that if you are working a Monday through Friday job, you're working a 9 to 5 job, and you tend to hate it? Do you know that the most people who turn around and they get their heart attacks are happening on Monday mornings? These are the same people, by the way, that they start their shifts Monday morning, and on Monday they're already praying for Friday. They go to work on Monday, and the majority of people who actually experience those heart attacks are happening on Mondays. Like somehow over the course of the weekend, the heart just said, "Didn't I tell you I didn't want to go back to the work?" and attacked them. If you have a job that you hate that badly, why are you staying there? Obviously, you need to go somewhere else. Unless your entire premise is just, "I hate working in general." Now you got a whole new demon on your ass. Because the most people who I'm speaking about who turn around and say, "I hate my job," I said, "So why aren't you putting yourself in a position to do something different?" We're not even going to talk about do something you love. Do what you love, do what you love, do what you love. I'm not even saying that. Why not put yourself in a position to do something differently? I don't want to work in sales. Cool. Go work in logistics. Try that out. You might find something more interesting there. Cause you know what's also a motherfucker that keeps people stuck? Complacency, comfort. I'm bored and I cannot stand doing this because I do the same thing all the time. Well, why don't you go to this position? No, because that means I'm actually gonna have to do some actual real work because I don't know the job. What's it gonna be then? You gonna bitch, piss, and moan about where you at, but you won't give it up because it's what you know. To go do something and learn something new that could be exciting for you and actually could be beneficial. And on top of that, it would be in the eyes of the company to say that this person is willing to move around to learn different things. This is a keeper. Those people don't make sense to me, but there are an abundance of them. An abundance of them. If you hate your job that much, why aren't you leaving? And this is the same thing why I talk to a lot of people and saying that, when we have this movement of everybody hustle culture and everybody being the best for themselves, guys, being average is okay. Being average is okay. Sorry, I'm hearing this ambulance truck that's coming by. Being average is all right. I tell people that we need people. It is crucial. We need people who move boxes. We need people who offload trucks. And some of these guys, they make money. Like, we need people who's going to move the chairs. It's not going to happen by itself. We need them. So the idea of thinking that if I just work this and I hate my job because I don't want to do anything different, that's all on you. And if you really hate your job, I really suggest that you step into do something differently. And if you're not even sure what that is, go to school. Take your ass to yeah, I know. I can already hear it already. School? Man, but the way how the college system is and putting yourself in debt, blah, 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 blah. You know what? People will still take your degree, even if it has nothing to do with the actual job that you're actually applying for, just to say that they see that you've actually earned this damn piece of paper. That's the truth of the matter. There's no getting around it. You can turn around and say that you literally have a bachelor's degree and all you did was grow weed in the dorm rooms or whatever. You know what? You want to work in finance? Why the fuck not? You have a degree. You will get treated in such a manner. But thinking that you just grew weed out of your basement and you want to be a finance expert or whatever, they're going to ask you what your credentials are. And I'm sorry if you don't have the right certificates or the right people to use as a reference, not your client. It may not fly that well for you. There's a certain amount of prestige and prerequisites that you have to reach in order to prove that you have said knowledge. And it can't be just because you showed up and said, I'm here. There's this thing that people say half the battle is showing up. Anybody can show up, not everybody shows out. Showing up to practice is cool, but if you don't even bother to practice, there's a problem. You saying you go to the gym doesn't mean shit. Did you do anything in the gym? That's important. Doing a little something in the gym is better than just showing up and said, I went to the gym, I went to the locker room, I put my stuff in the locker, I took my stuff out the locker, and then I left. It's not the same thing. That's not an accomplishment.
I'm not a sad person. I have big ambitions, big dreams. Working for someone else and thinking it's the only way is wrong.
I agree with you, TM1766. He hasn't been along a lot.
I can't do it. I know a lot of people in the comments will be like, well, then prove it. Or, yeah, well, you just need to accept it. I think that's just the consensus. People say, you just need to accept it. That's what my colleagues were saying. You just need to accept that's normal life. Because that's what they've been told. I'm sorry, maybe I dream in color, but I'd much rather do that than black and white,
Let me get a content creator some love. I always like to shout out to content creators and give them visibility, regardless of whether I agree with them or not. I partially agree with him, but I partially disagree with him. His name is Sean Disselets. Sean Disselets, I believe. 12,000 subscribers as of the recording of this video. Make sure y'all go and check him out. And if you like his content, go and subscribe to his content.
Shout out to
I
him.
don't care about money. I want time.
He's trying to be honest with himself.
10 hours every day is gone. No, it's never been about the money. I don't care about money. Cut my salary in half. I don't care. I want control over time. I'm at the office and there's no work left to do, and it's 3 p.m. and you do this, waiting for 5
Sound like you want to be a drug dealer.
And you feel your soul slipping away. Like,
oh my gosh. I can't. So I agree with one part of what the young man is saying, because I've been like this. I've said it myself. I do not believe, just based on studies, based on what I see in studies, right? We go in for 9 hours. You get an hour off. So it's unpaid, typically unpaid. There are some jobs you get paid for your lunch, but typically you're not paid for your lunches. And let's just be honest. For people who are working those, quote, 8-hour days, you're not necessarily being productive all 8 hours of the day. Let's be honest. On average, based on the results that I looked at, I wish I was thinking about this in before, so I would have tried to put these stats for you guys. But just me, I'll just say me, in my prior to even those stats. Even when I worked at a job, if depending on what the timetable was for what I actually had to do, I may seriously be focused enough to put 3, maybe 4 solid, serious hours into my actual job. The other 4 is just simply answering emails or repetition action, things that I don't even think about. I'm sitting there thinking about, man, what I'm going to eat when I leave. Hey, did I order anything for lunch? When should I take lunch? Damn. Like, I'm not thinking about the job, and just repetitious things are happening. People work 4 hours, and let's be honest, there's some of them that they work 8 hours and they're only putting in really a solid 2 hours of work. a solid 2 hours of paying attention throughout the entire day. Now, it may be in the beginning, or maybe it's in the end, or somewhere in the middle, but there are people who that they don't really have a sole focus throughout. So this was a conversation that I had with a manager, and this was prior to me leaving my full time. The conversation was around the times like, hey, how you doing today? I was like, no, no, no. But even during that time of the evaluation, was like, so we're looking at your performance, and again, I was not just for my own work, which was immaculate. I was on it, but looking at also my team, which not everybody has the same goals, so everybody's all over the place. And when they looked at me, they were like, "Well, we think that you should put in some additional effort. You know, we see that you're there." And this was at we had two different times. Before, I used to put in over 100%, and then at this time when I was doing it, because now my time was not only just for myself, but split to looking after other people and their all issues, whether they had other children, or whether they had somebody they couldn't show up because they had class, or they had the school, or somewhere else, or they had the babysit, or they said they had the bubble guts, or whatever the case may be. To sit there and to have somebody look at me with evaluation, they said, like, you got all your work done, but we just don't feel like your team, or whatever the case may be. And they were just like, we just don't feel like you put in 100% of work. And I remember I stopped and I thought in that moment, and I just said, you're absolutely right. And I don't think I'm going to put any more 100% in. And they were like, well, wait, what do you mean? Like, it's kind of an expectation that we would like to have on all of our employees. And I kind of had them stumped, because it was three of them. It was a market manager, or deputy market manager, was my operations manager, who was my boss, and then it was the HR. And I was like, I don't know anything anywhere that gives 100% of the time of any effort all the time. I don't know anything that gives 100% effort all the time, every time. And why would I be putting that expectation on myself? This is the reason why I experience burnout. And because, not for nothing, because I had gone to a point where I had been the workhorse for so long, and now I was taking a step back, they weren't accustomed to it. And there became a lot of disagreements, because I didn't want to put in a lot of the sacrifice and effort. So I do believe that people should not be working 8 hours of the day. Now, if you want to be that and you think that the extra results are in, because I do believe that there is a difference between working smarter and working harder. Working harder is putting actually the 8 hours a day and hoping that you'll get noticed. Working smarter is being able to segment your task, knowing how to allocate that time, doing those tasks out, and finding other ways within those additional hours, not doing this, as he said, but finding additional things to do within that hour to help build up your reputation. Whether it means helping out other departments, whether it means, kissing hands and shaking babies. Yes, I meant to say it that way. Like, there are other things that you can do to build rapport, to get your face out there, so that people, when they have a position open or they have other things in mind, you're one of the people that they are thinking about, because you see them, because you are visible. You make yourself visible. Part of the thing that happened during the time when we were all on lockdown, a national lockdown, is any opportunity I had to speak to my managers, to reach out to someone, to even go to the office during the time when we were all supposed to be gone, I made time to go there when we were all pretty much sitting at home and we could work from home. If there was an opportunity or a time where very limited people were able to go into the job, I was one of those people that signed up, because I'm going to be the person that's remembered for being there in the office, in people's freaking faces. Hey, I didn't expect to see you here. I mean, what was I going to do? Sit at home? Well, you can be paid to sit at home. No, I went to the office. Even if I was the only person there. And at the time, it was me and actually my partner at the time. We would be the only people there in the office. Everybody else is chilling. Everybody else is home. Everybody else is just waiting for the Zoom call, waiting for the meetings. And we would be the only two in the office. But when the time came for build up, promotion, or being talked about, who were the people that were spoken about? People that actually showed their face. And I think it's very important. You show up or you show out, but most of all, you use your time effectively. And I don't think a lot of people use their time effectively because they get caught into becoming a work slave, a wage slave. I should put it that way. And they forget that there's more to do with themselves. Let's be honest. And you can just say for yourself, and anyone's here, show of hands or whatever. How many of you guys, when you're at work, let's just say you don't have children, so I know people have children and such. How many people think about taking their money that they're saving and they just save it simply so that they could go to vacation? They don't think about what they can invest into it. They don't think if the extra money needs to go into their 401 for their retirement. They're not thinking about starting a business on the side. They're not thinking about for extra hobbies or things that they can help them. How many they just pull all their money up so they can blow it all in the same year just on a vacation for a few days, rather than building up on things that will take care of you in the longer run, that will compound in the longer run. How many of you guys are really like that? Be honest with yourselves, because I would say that's the majority of people that I run into. The majority. Most people, like, they, even when they make a really good amount of money, that's what they do. And it's like then they turn around and come to me and say, I'm broke. I'm like, I thought you were saving all this money, and didn't we just get a bonus too? How you broke already? Oh, remember when I said I was gonna go to Paris? Yeah, blew all my money because I needed to be at the best place. I need to eat all the best places, and it's the experience. Cool. Uh, do you have anything to really show for that experience? And they go, my memory. I said, that's cool. And here's what I hope: you never experience Alzheimer's. I hope you will always keep that memory in your head. But that money that you blew, how much did you blow, by the way? Like 7 grand? Whew, that's crazy. That is a crazy amount of money to be blowing. For what? 4 days? Maybe? That's crazy. Hopefully you felt it was worth it, because now you're sitting behind. You're sitting behind and you're waiting to just do it all over again. Repetitious. And then we have to look at you like you're crazy. You're insane. Yvette, you said you do it? Oh no, you're good, Rook. So I mean, not everybody's in a proper position where they can take off multiple vacations. I'm pretty sure it's not at the extreme of what this guy is saying. It's just 10 days in the entire year. That's I've never known a place to be like that. That's not to say it's not true. I'm not gonna say I don't believe him. It's very interesting. You say maybe because the same people won't isn't the top of the shit. Yes. Well, you said Trump Daddy, but there are a lot of people that they're looking for other people to have a place where basically they will be able to be the ones who have an incentive. But I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it was. Um, Hopefully he, as he's getting older, he'll put himself in the proper positions where he'll be able to make the most of said situation. Um, but if you're sitting there being unhappy, listen, especially if he's talking about people who like want to have their own business or do whatever the case may be, you're going to fail. And this be honest, he hasn't saved the money in order to fail and to be able to sit back and do all that. Not to mention that most people who actually are starting their own business, which is why I say allocating your resources and using it, is because most people who are starting up their first business are still working full-time jobs. They are extra tired, which is why I asked, what is he doing on the side when he leaves his job? Is he really working on the thing that he really wants to do himself? I don't give a damn if you're making refrigerator magnets. What are you doing, sir? Because the one thing that's the difference between me, between you say even Anton who's reviewing him, is time. Time is the biggest factor that separates all of us. It's simply it's time. It, damn, Rook, you already said it. And the choices that we make, how productive you choose to be. if you choose to do anything at all. And again, you can, even if you want to be the type of person that you just want to save up your money just to go on vacations, that's absolutely fine. But then don't complain. You should not complain about being a 9 to 5er. Because the first thing I would have to say, my laptop's about to die. The first thing I say is that you shouldn't be complaining, because it's because that you're able to, quote, work the 9 to 5 is how you were able to go on vacation. Could you go on vacation without that 9 to 5? The answer would be no. But you're going to complain the fact that you're working a 9 to 5. So what position you're going to put yourself in to make sure that you don't need to work a 9 to 5 and you can still have the fun that you want to have? Most people tell me, I don't know. And then the conversation ends there. It's never, I should think about it. I should plan. I should go seek help. And sometimes, you know what that means, folks? Because I know a lot of people who don't do this either. Sometimes that means you have to work the 9 to 5 to save up money and then pay for some coaching and some training. I know people don't want to do that. I got to work my ass off and I got to save up this money to pay for somebody else to teach me shit that I don't know. Yeah. Because information is the thing that information is the thing that matters the most. It's the most powerful thing. Information pays for itself. Most people don't want to do it. I don't want to spend money on that. I don't want to spend my money that $75 an hour to have this heifer teach me to. Okay, cool. So what you want to do? I'm gonna go to the Gucci store. Heard you. Heard you. Cause that was great, great use of your time. Great use of your time. And then I look at them and I'm just going, because the truth of the matter, folks, is that you could win the lotto and waste all the money. If you're not savvy, you're gonna waste all the money. Hell, but I would rather be the person who has the knowledge in my head to make those millions, and I can blow it away. Because you know what's the difference between that person and the other person? One blew it away because they got lucky and they quote inherited it, and the other person has the knowledge to make it again. That's the difference. Which position would you rather be? I would rather be the person who has knowledge of finances, knowledge of the marketplace, knowledge of how people think, knowledge to be able to communicate, than be the person who goes to the store every week to get scratch offs, to get the Mega Millions, to get the Powerball, to get like, and then think about every week, 52, no, 52 weeks of spending how many dollars? They probably spending over $20 a week. Like, it's sure that you contributed, but did you get anything from it? Because there are people who have been doing it for over a decade and have never hit. Never hit. But they lucky if they get $5 for a scratch off. Not nearly what they put in. It's not hope is not a strategy. Just to put it that way. A lot of people are hoping. A lot of us are, they're hopeless romantics across the board. I hope I win money. I hope I get the job of my dreams. I hope I find the person of my dreams. I hope to get that car one day. I hope to be living in this luxury house. Ask them what they're doing tangibly as a strategic effort. And they're like, I told you I'm hoping. Okay. Listen. Hopefully you don't blow your whole check on it. Hopefully you don't blow your whole check on it. Like that's. Hopefully you're not throwing away the money. I'm just saying that is not worth it. And there are plenty of times where I see the Mega Millions get up high and I go, kind of want to put in as well. And then I sit there and go, it's not worth it. I mean, for those of you guys who know, I'm not I'm not a petty gambler. I'm not. And I know some people are already just saying petty. Going for the Mega Millions and a big jackpot, that's not petty gambling. I just go, okay, how long have you been putting the money into the Mega Millions? I only put $50 here, $20 here, $10 here. Okay, how often do you do that? Twice a week? Twice a week. How for how long? I don't know. I've been doing it for 7 years. It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. You say you take one ticket? No, no. If you're gonna win, that's not the odds are not in your favor. If you're gonna win, if you're gonna play, you're gonna have to play for real. You gotta play for real. That's not gonna do it. One ticket, it's not gonna do it. You think with everybody else playing across the board that your solitary ticket is gonna be the one? No, no, no. You need to. You're gonna have to up the odds. We're talking about a numbers game, an unfair numbers game. We're talking about the biggest casino to ever be made because you're playing with everybody across the freaking nation. So no, one ticket's not gonna happen. It's not. You got a better chance of seeing Godzilla. I'm just gonna let you know. You got a better chance of seeing Godzilla in real life. One ticket? Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Yvette. They do. And then sad part is because I've seen this a lot. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen this a lot as well. People who have worked their entire lives putting money into the lotto system, working all the way to retirement age. And then after, when they retire, they're still going to still put money in the lotto system. How many people, senior citizens, are out there still playing the lotto? I ran into a chick. She had the whole wrap in her head, short sleeve shirt, cane, getting everything. She was getting the New York NY Lotto. She was doing the freaking the Mega Millions. She was on the Powerball. She had the scratcher. She was walking out with books basically. She had small books that she was walking out with. I was like, it's the lotto, ma'am. It's not bingo. These are not bingo cards. Can you imagine? Like, I'm trying to imagine her on her kitchen table with just like lines of the lotto shit. And she just sitting there like, just making sure this one and this one and this one. You said some of them call it bingo? Probably. And I'll just be like, ma'am, that time passed. That time passed. And I was and listen, when I was especially when I was in my 20s, I used to get pissed. I would get pissed if I'm sitting at home, I'm struggling. This is way back when. I was working in production, guys, and I was working by gig, so I would have to be calling in, yo, if you ever got a gig open, let me know. Da, da, da. This is all before I even started really learning the trade. It's, yo, if anything pop up, let me know. And I'm hearing about, oh, Samantha James won the quote unquote other lottery, no other winners, solely her. And she's at the age of like 72. I'm like, did this have a win all by herself at 72? Fuck is she gonna do with this? And then you hear these people pass away and they donated to like fucking pet foundations. I'm like, but then you hear like they got like freaking 4 great grandchildren. No, she didn't have one ticket. No, I'm pretty sure she had more than, and in fact, she had so many tickets because she was paying for all of that time. She was probably paying for as long as I was basically working in my 20s all the way to freaking 70 something to when she won. I'm pretty sure she didn't hit the what? She did not hit the. I'm pretty sure she did not hit the let's just give her a break Jesus lottery ticket. That's some bullshit. I am not okay with that. Listen, if she listen, you can win once. That's no problem. Because I would especially get mad at the people that win multiple times. Like I heard of a SOB who was here in New York. No, I actually think he was in Jersey, and he won. Packed his family up and everything. Went out to Florida. Won again like 2 months later. I said, "You son of a! Why did you even play again? You should be barred. You should be barred, or you should be put on a watch list because obviously you know some way to rig the system. How do you win twice? Most people go through the entire like. Listen, there are crackheads hit it up, turn around, spend all the money on the dope, turn around and go to somebody else to beg them for a lotto ticket, holding the doors open and everything, talking about they want some change. And you're like, oh, you need orange juice or something like that? No, I just need to buy a lotto ticket. I just need to buy me a lotto ticket. Because here's the thing. I've had people lie to me about wanting food, about wanting something to drink. But I've never had some SOB come to me and say, Sarah, can you buy me a lotto ticket? Huh? What? But I have damn for sure see them with the cups, getting all the change they could, and then they sitting up there dumping all the change on the counter, and you got the guy like going through all the change because they want to get some tickets. I have seen that happen. And obviously people was getting them change. Who walks around with a coffee cup to go to the store if you had change for yourself? You would show up with like a change bottle or a change purse or whatever what case may be. You wouldn't show up with a coffee cup. So obviously you was at the train station or something. Like, come on. Hoping that you gonna win your lucky break. So that you and your 17 cats can eat better. I'm just saying. I'm a little bitter about how the system works. Because I used to watch that shit and try to study that shit. And at first I thought I was like looking to say, how the fuck the only people who are winning are elderly? And then I said, wait. How is it the only people that are winning have houses? How come nobody in the projects is winning like that? How like, I don't see people who living in just buildings are winning. It's most of the people who I see that win have houses. They live in decent communities. I'm like, this is bullshit. It's rigged. It is absolutely rigged. The few times, and I mean so few times, that I've actually heard of people that won, that were like in the projects, that were like in buildings, and they had like a nursing job or whatever. Even those people were sitting at the senior citizen age. And it was so still far few in between. And the one person I can only remember who won in the projects blew the fucking money. And was damn for sure like 2 years later, maybe even a year later, seen on the freaking the unemployment line, looking to get some benefits. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I think they paid for a whole wedding. I think they had like a whole boat. They did all this shit and they turned around and just wasted it all. But you know, people want to be out there. They wanna live the high life. I'm just saying. And it doesn't work for everybody. I'm like, you didn't put nothing aside for yourself. You know, I'm one of those people that say, you know what? Here's the money I'm going to allocate to myself. This is in case I do dumb shit. In case I do dumb shit, this is the money I'm holding to the side to make sure that I got my shit. Because here's the thing. For me, for me, call me crazy if you like. For me, I've always been the person that think that if I had a shit ton of money, if I if I had won the lottery and nobody knew, which is hard in my state because they like to rat you out so that they can have people chase you down. You can't do it anonymous in my state. Everybody got to know that you won the lotto so that you can leave the state. And I like, no, I like being in my state. But what if I want to see my family, or if I want to be living in my family where I want my family to do? All, I can't stay in my state. They're gonna be looking for me. You know, your face is out there, your name is out there. You gotta move instantly. Listen. Let me tell you this. If I had somehow won the lotto, I wouldn't want to be these idiots. Yes, whoa, holding the ticket in my hand. Oh my god, yes, I won. I see that shit. I'd be like, I'd be getting. Listen, I would go right to my emergency bag, get my to go bag, putting everything in my to go bag, put that shit. I'd be looking through my cards. I'd be looking through my cards. Hell, I might not even use my credit card. I might be like, yo, I need to use your credit card. Go to my credit card. I just need to use your credit card. Go to a hotel. Go to a hotel. Listen, I might grab my girl's credit card and just say, listen, I need to make an announcement. I need to get right people together. I need you to stay quiet. Like this. I'm not even gonna tell her yet. I'll just be like, you know what? Fuck it. I might not even tell her. I might just go grab her freaking credit card. She may not even know. Go to a hotel, pay with the credit card. They be looking at me like, yes, that's my name. I identify as female. Okay. Get my freaking room. And I think the first person I would probably hit up is probably my mom. And I'd just be like, hey, mom. Hey, what's going on? Hey, yeah, I know it's like 2 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I know you think I lost my mind. I know it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But, your boy hit the lotto. Shh, keep it down. Keep it down. You don't know who's listening on these damn phones? Your boy hit the lotto. Yes. 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 I'm not bullshitting you. I won. I'm going to be missing for a little while. Just letting you know. I'm going to be missing for a little while. Because I'm going to come in. We're going to get the lotto. I'm going to get the money and everything. They're going to keep my fucking face on damn TV and get my damn name out. Because you know people going to be looking for me instantly. Because you know people like, you know, it's so easy to pay the money to have people look up your address and shit and everywhere else that you learn and all kind of other shit like that. Like, I'm like, yo, just letting you know this is what happened. And I ain't gonna be there. The moment, the moment they have me on TV with the car, like, and the stupid confetti dropping and the fucking holding the big shit up or whatever, like that, I am gone that day. I have airplane tickets that night. That night, I am gone. I am gone. You say face to face? Absolutely not. I will not be caught out in the streets. I will not be caught in the streets. I will not be caught in the streets. I'm going to be. I will win that money and I will fly over. I'm not even going to say where I'm going to go because I thought about this for a while. I'm gonna fly over, and when I land where I land, then I'm gonna make all my all of my plans, everything being done is gonna be through a mediary. Like they're gonna make all the listen. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this, and all the stuff. Yes, on behalf of I'm gonna be doing this. This is that's all. It until I'm able to buy what I need to buy in a particular area, all money down, all like it. Listen, I'm not messing around with nobody because people gonna be looking for me. They gonna be looking for me because it's so easy to try to look at people. I'm big. You know, you can't work. You can't really work anymore. Because I would at first I would be one of those people that just be like, you know what? I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna still work, and I know I got millions. I would love to be that asshole. Are you gonna tell me that I would have all my coworkers mad? Look at this motherfucker. Why you even come to work? You won millions. Why the fuck are you here at work? But most people have to quit their job, not because they don't love their job, but because they get mistreated at work. Look at this fucking heifer. She's coming here just to spite us. Maybe she really does like coming to work. Maybe she does really like her job. What are the leaving taxes? What are the leaving taxes? Huh? I don't have a corporation. I don't have a corporation. You don't have to know what account I have. If I just need to make the currency transfer, the currency exchange, I'm good. I don't need to pay no leaving taxes. Not at all. I'm just listening. I'm be doing. I'm gonna be moving around. I will be moving around. The moment I come back into the states to settle, it can't even be back in New York. It may even be to a point where it's like, if we gonna do a family gathering, I can't go to the state where people identify me. I can't. You cannot go to the state where people know you won. If you want to do a family gathering, they all got to come to you. This this is going to be the way it is. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Here we go. It's after winning, after moving around or whatever, now settling. Maybe I got me a nice house or I got me a nice little condo or whatever. You want a link? I got you, OG. I got you, OG. We are open today. We are open panel. Here you go. Here's the link, and I'm gonna pin the link to the top. And I appreciate you guys who already dropped the like. But if I do that, like, do you think I can go to say like the hood with like a really nice car? I can't do that. I can't do it. OG, what's good?
What's good with you, Plamper?
Much, man. I'm going through my feed, chopping up. It's a chill stream today.
Oh, yeah. I'm listening to what you say. I ain't telling nobody, sir. Yeah, I was gonna just fuck a period. And then when I call you and tell you to pull up, just know you ain't got to work for the rest of your life.
Oh, that way.
Oh, yes, it.
No, it was so the reason I would call the only person I would call my mom is like because she's the only person that's really gonna be looking for me. Like me and my mom, we got a good relationship. I know she'll be looking for me if she hasn't heard from me for a while. So, so if we live in the same state, and then all of a sudden there's a drawing and my name and everything's on it, and she's like, "Son, bitch, you knew and you didn't tell me anything." I'm like, I was hiding, and I'm leaving tonight. Like, I'm gone. So, like, I would tell her just to get prepared. You're not about to see me for a little bit.
I ain't gonna tell my mom. I'm gonna leave everything just like it's been. But when I tell her to come visit me, and she be like, "Well, I ain't coming to your house." Yeah, I got a new spot.
Exactly.
Yeah, when she gets there, she ain't gonna have to leave. She like, I gotta go back to work. Oh, you ain't working no more.
No, you ain't got to work. You ain't got to work no more. You ain't gonna worry about that.
You quit all that. Fuck all your house. All that shit. We can buy everything new.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
simple, dog.
and I just be like that. Like, listen,
Yeah, I do. It sound like you got to echo.
You said you got to echo.
Yeah, that's what it says. Echo cancellation is on, though.
Got you. I mean, you sound good on my end, but I'll hear real quick. Stream. Yeah, you had an echo. Talk to me.
Yeah. I still hear it. I don't know about now. I still hear it. I can always drop out and come back in.
Yeah, give that a shot. Yeah, because there's no way. There's no way. Listen, I'm going. You guys, the next time you would see me up on this platform, yeah, you guys. Next time you guys would see me, I would be gone. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Hey, where you at? That's not where normally wrestles at. Like, yeah, yeah, I'm going. I can't. I couldn't be around. Sorry, guys. You probably could get only a message from my community page with just the I'm rich, bitch, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not even giving them that. It's the echo still there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why you got it. All right, give it a shot now.
Yeah. I don't hear it no more.
You don't hear it anymore?
But I don't, yeah, I don't hear it. I barely, I do hear it. I hear it. I didn't hear it for a minute, now I don't hear it now.
All right, so I got it to work.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Yeah, you were bouncing through my feed, so I fixed it on my end.
Oh, okay.
Right, I swear I'm always learning something different about my mixer.
Oh, that's what's up. But yeah, I wouldn't tell nobody, bro. I'm still stuck on that. Too many people with their hand out, bro. It's like you go broke.
Listen, if you didn't get a handout from me when I was broke, you ain't getting it from me when I'm rich.
That's fair.
That's this. You're not getting it from me when I'm rich. You're not getting. Listen, it's just not a thing. It's not a thing. I would be like,
no charity. I ain't doing no charity. I ain't doing none of that.
listen, I never gave the charity now. It ain't happening.
Oh, I do, but I'm still gonna get the same amount. I ain't gonna, yeah, we ain't about to do all that. We ain't up and nothing.
Now, listen, I have never been that good. I have never been the good person to go to charity. I've never been the person to help in a soup kitchen or drive. Like, I've never been that person. Listen. I am very fucking selfish when it comes to just donating blood, just because of how rare my blood type is. I am a selfish individual.
Yeah,
Don't think that the money gonna change that.
Yeah, I didn't help out and shit. You know what I'm saying? Different events, but never. I ain't never did no blood or nothing like that. I ain't. No. I can't give you that. I'm scared you're gonna put me to sleep and take something out of me. I'm good. I'm all right.
That's exactly the way I look at it. I have a very strict policy on who can receive what, and most likely they're not even the ones who can dictate what they're gonna get, and it'll probably be a one-time hit. That's how they do it for the government. You get the one-time shot to pay off your bills. You get the one-time shot. That's it. You're done. You're done. I'm like, you are done. This is what you get. This is how you're gonna get it, and we're at the end of that. You don't get anything else. Nothing else. Don't come to me later. Listen, let's just say I got a friend, right? And I hit them with like 200K, which is more than good enough for anyone, if you ask me. They say I give that. I don't need you coming to me later and start talking about how you need something. That's your one time shot. That's it. And you gotta be very lucky that I gave you that. Don't ever come to me about anything else again. I need to know that you are good with what you got, and that's it.
Yeah, I ain't giving nobody that much money at one time. Yeah. I'll put that to the side. All the money I'm gonna give out, I'm gonna put all that to the side, and I'm gonna allocate it to you, nigga, like a check.
Oh, that sounds fine.
Yeah. I can't trust a nigga with that much money, bro. Because by the time I get ready to be like, you know what, hey, this is you got 2 more years of this. You know what I'm saying? You getting paid good. You know what I'm talking about? After these 2 more years, you need to be having you a plan, brother. And he ain't got it. But nigga,
Hopefully,
you out there.
you've been saving them extra checks coming your way.
Well, shit, like you said, 200. Yeah, bro, that's nigga shit. Most people don't even make that a year.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So I can,
Yeah, I have no
I can
problem with
spread this
installments
out.
like that. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Nigga,
money you
shit.
did not have, practically tax free. So here you go. And if you are
Yeah.
stuck after all that, you're done.
Let you keep on working your little old job, but I'm gonna throw you something every month. You know what I'm saying? It makes sure every week you get paid, you get a double check, and so that way we can
Yep,
whatever
mail.
you make it, that's all you get.
Exactly. And I'm good with that. I am absolutely good with that. But that time period where I go missing, I'm be going missing for a while. There's not a couple of weeks or whatever. I'm gonna be gone for at least at the very least like 4 to 6 months.
No, I'm gonna wait longer than that. You ain't gonna see me for about a good shit 2, 3 years. Yeah.
2, 3 years.
Oh yeah, nigga, I know how to disappear hard. I'm gonna give a fuck about the nigga shit. I'm gone. You see me
Well,
on YouTube.
well, that's the thing. Like I know me, I'm gonna want to come back, move my shit. Make sure that nobody came through and squatted in my place. Like I need to know that when we left, like yes, some things can be replaced, but like I don't want to replace everything. I have things that are sentimental or whatever. Like it's gonna be a weird conversation between me and my landlord.
Shit wouldn't be for me. Anyway, I ain't seen you in a long time. We had to go see you to collections. Yeah, I paid that shit off, man. So as you said, my money long as shit, nigga. I ain't even worried about that no more. But what about all your stuff, man? You know, I didn't bought everything new. You like real talk. I'm about to enjoy this life, and I'm about to say, bro, I don't hold on to nothing like that. Ain't nothing I'm gonna hold on to. Now, I'm gonna take the stuff that I need with me, but everything else, oh yeah, bro, yeah, he leave me and shit.
Zuber said he was squatting my home fast.
Yeah, nigga, shit, go on get that hoe. You can have
well,
this
well,
motherfucker.
hopefully you found all the weapons, because if not, I feel bad for you when I show up.
Now, see, that's that much money I got on me. See, all this stuff will be coming with me. See, where I go, that go, no matter what. With that much money, ain't nowhere in the world you can tell me that I can't take my bro. Then I'm just gonna drive. I ain't gotta drive person. I got enough money to make a nigga drive for me.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're on a whole different level here, Resla. You know what I'm saying? Some things I just don't have to deal with. I can literally get me one of them goddamn limos and put me a whole air mattress in the back and go to sleep. I'm good. I just need a nigga to drive, and I pay you good. It's more than a flight. If you nigga, how much is a flight first
You
class
see this?
to?
CCD got a bridge to sell me.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of stuff, bro. I can invest my money into, and I ain't gonna lift a finger.
Listen, I'm just like, to me that would be too much. And that's the thing. If I didn't have to be subjected to have my information put out there, I would be the asshole who would just work. I would just work.
How
I
much we
probably
talking
would.
about?
I probably wouldn't work full time. I scale it down, but I'd probably still work for the hell of it.
How much we talking about? We talking about the old, because you did talk about the people that was winning. Are you talking about now, or are you talking about back then? Because now
back then,
this shit crazy.
Yeah, back then it was yeah, but now it's like it's just as bad, because like you literally can't work.
Yeah, I mean,
you cannot work.
Now these niggas winning 433 million. Nigga, what? Oh, 10 million. Like, you know, I ain't working for 10 years. Off top. Make a show of that.
Like depending on what industry it is, I might just work, but it would never be full time.
I ain't lifting up my finger ever again in my life, dog. 400, just 300 something million.
Because you know what? If I would have it in my mind, if shit go bad and money is really just not worth what it's supposed to be, or something happened in the market, or whatever the case may be. Because FDIC is not enough money. It's just not enough money if they fuck your whole shit up. So I need to still have some experience on the books. I need to have some experience on the books. Insurance is still not cheap. And they're gonna be mad at me, like, why you got insurance? You got all this money. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Working for a company means, I get benefits.
Yeah, but look at so this is what throw me off about that type of stuff is when. So how much is the yearly average insurance cost for a 40-year-old man?
It depends on the kind of plan that he's enrolling in. Like
Exactly.
there's tier levels, plus with the other contribution that he wants to make. So it's a lot.
Okay, so now
What beneficiaries he may have, or what's he act. Keep in mind, these places are also doing like pet insurance if he wants to put in for that. Like,
all right, so again, you got 300 over 300 million you just won on the lottery. Now you ain't told nobody but your mama because you didn't move in with you got her straight. She didn't disappear, you disappeared, don't nobody know it yet. So now you're doing your insurance, but this is my thing. If you just go ahead and get what you're doing right now, that won't even touch your pockets at all. You right now see most people are struggling or at the point where they taking care of it. But if you got the abundance of money just to go ahead and pay that shit up, then you're gonna be like, you know what, I can just say it. Again, I think differently, bro, when it comes to that much money, bro, because I don't look at it like, well, you're gonna have this and have this. Well, I know if it's gonna cost me 15,000 or 23,000, or even between 15 and 30,000 a year for insurance, then off top, I'm gonna put back 2 million just for insurance. That's not gonna help that. Now that put me at 290. We can keep on going down on certain things because every time you take it out, I'm still gonna be left at least, because I'm not spending crazy money for the house and shit like that. I'm more like what we was talking about. You think I ain't gonna go get the container homes and shit like that? I got this much, yeah, but I'm not about to go buy this $2.3 million house when I can get something built for $270,000. That's the same thing as a million. And you don't even know what the fuck is under these motherfucking me trailer under these goddamn container ships. I got the same space that I got on top that you see on top is gonna be underground. You ain't gonna know it because of the money I'm spending and how I'm spending my money, what I'm allocating my money to. So some things is gonna be way cheaper than that. Just like when it comes to you paying your bills. Well, you know what I'm saying? If you got a decent house, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house, but you ain't got a basement and all that, but other things can, nigga like me, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get me a whole solar panel thing, all that shit that I know that's gonna help me and help on that cost. Oh yeah, so I might be at the range again between $20,000 and $30,000 a month. Well, $20 to $30,000 a year on just an electric bill. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. Put another 2 million back. How many years am I gonna be able to live off if you paying $30,000 a year on electricity and you put 2 million down? How many years can you live off of that? You see what I'm saying? And then some of the money, yeah, you're gonna splurge and but like you said, I'm gonna have me some nice things, but I know not to live out of my realm. I'm not gonna go do something, bro, if I'm cool where I'm at right now, I just need a little bit extra. If I can have something that pay my bills for 10 years, I'm cool where I'm at.
That sounds good. Sounds like a solid plan. I'm not sure most people think that way.
Yeah, I know, because I know first they're gonna go get them a Bugatti. I'm gonna have 7 cars outside that I put 30,000 into.
Not me.
And it's gonna equal up to that one Bugatti. That's just the way I think. I go buy me a hoopty and put 20,000 in it. You go buy a Bugatti for 233,000. I go buy 5 cars and put 30,000 into them.
Yeah, there's no way I would be spending all that kind of money. First of all, it's just not worth it. It's not worth people they looking for your car, or they want to fuck your car up, or they want to sit on your car, or whatever. First of all, I don't care about all that luxury shit. I don't. It's just not worth it enough. I just need point A to point B. In fact, I want to be as inconspicuous as possible. I do not want to be known where I go.
That's a fact.
In fact, I want people to question, like, you got all this money. Why are you getting that shit?
Well,
I'm
most of
like,
these people don't even know that shit. When you buy those expensive cars like that, most of those cars you gotta have full coverage. You gotta have full coverage on them. You can't go get liability on certain cars. You can go get an Aston Martin and go get no goddamn liability on.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
The owner,
Not
what people are thinking, you still spending an extra amount of money every year on goddamn full coverage, just a house payment. Some people on some of these cars, Bugattis and shit, that shit high as shit.
Yeah, I mean, some of those cars, as high as they are, you have to qualify for them. Like there are like S-class Ferraris that are like, oh, you can't get this car. Like I have the money, like yeah, but you have to buy these other Ferraris first to qualify for this one. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, and that comes from the people who build these motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to have a one that come off because you got the money. Think about all these princes and rich ass billionaires who, like you said, they got every goddamn version of Bugatti they had since 1997.
No thanks.
You think they're gonna let you skip them? This is a person that's been given that's keep this company running for 15, 30 years. You think they're gonna let you skip them? Ain't no way in the world, bro. And these people get custom jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Extra money because they know these people are going to pay. You just one time buyer. Yeah, you can get in the line, but your line gonna be long as hell. There's still people on an 8-year waiting list on some of these cars.
Insane. Yeah, I for sure would not be doing that whatsoever. I would keep it as simple as I possibly could. I would just have a really good car, and I'd be okay with it. And I know people will be very tempted to want something special or extravagant. Anything I would buy would basically be kept as basically as an appreciation thing, asset. I wouldn't do anything else with it. I wouldn't.
I'm
I
old
think
school.
I care more about really tech. To be honest with you, I care more about tech than anything else.
But see,
Tech
all that
and
can be
some
implemented
form of
though.
clothing. Yeah, some form of clothing, but nothing extravagant, too extravagant. But I do like to look nice when I'm going out. But I think looking nice and just looking decent. I'm not talking about looking like luxurious. Like that's not my thing.
Okay,
I just
so
never want to be looked at as dusty.
well, check this out. This is another thing. Goes back to that point I was saying earlier. I know I'm different because I know if I ever had money like that, I wouldn't be going out buying crazy ass expensive $400, $600 Louis Vuitton shirts, $1,200 all type of shit like that. Because I mean, they got some shit. Ocho had on some shit the other day, bro. That was what that nigga said. That shit was his wife bought a nigga $2,600 for an outfit.
That's crazy.
Now, from my understanding, nigga, bro, I got a brand that I'm trying to promote. I got an OG Do Dirty brand. I got an ISTV brand. You think I ain't gonna go and put money on a person, bro, that can build me every type of clothing attire that I want, from suits to basketball shorts with my logo on it, bro? I won't be wearing nobody else's shit, and it's gonna cost me cheap. I can get my shirts and my hoodies made for $60 instead of spending $200 on a shirt. You think, oh yeah, bro, I'd rather wear that every day than go out and wear some real extravagant, all type of zippers everywhere and shit and crazy ass shit like that. I ain't about to be all fashion-y, so I don't need to be that. I'm cool with just wearing me some overalls with the OG Do Dirty label on the back of that motherfucker and some nice ass boots with a cowboy hat or something. I'm straight.
It always drives people crazy when someone is wearing their own clothing. Like who made that? Like I did. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm a millionaire and I don't want to spend my money. I don't want to go broke on trying to catch up with the times with everybody. Because I don't want to spend $16,000 on a pair of Jordans that only one other person has and they find that shoe con. I don't want to go there and do that.
Yeah, that's not something for me, especially when people are still out here taking people's Jordans right off their feet.
Doesn't make sense. I save all this money doing that. I can put all this money that I'm saving on these clothes on security.
Yeah. So you probably know about this because this has been on my feed, and I noticed for some reason some people are looking at it. But I got this whole thing that's come up right now, and I have no idea what's being talked about. But it has something to do with Cam Newton. You know, I don't really follow Cam Newton like that.
Oh, cousin Cam. Call that boy 4th and 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is about, but I saw a couple of people looking at it, so I just went for the whatever the interview was. And he says women's expectations are, and low functioning men. Oh gosh, dating,
The
marriage,
numbers
and
on it.
broken
You see the
homes.
numbers?
Yeah, I see.
Mm.
Oh shit! All right, let me find out what this is about.
The healing is going to say, do you want to be here? The pain is going to say, you need to be here.
The reality is nobody wants to find somebody who's worth going to hell for.
No man can take a woman and transform her. You're not God. You can never take water, baby, and make this 7-Up. Women with daddy issues don't mean you got to be with your daddy.
Single people can't coach relationship people.
Cam, if it went over your dreadlocks, bring it back.
If the man doesn't have high value.
Women come and lead with, fit this, or you have no value. Men come in and go, all right, I'm here, and I'm going to learn how to be the best I can for you. Oprah's power. You think Stedman's low functioning or low value?
Nobody's making Oprah money.
Stedman is not low functioning. Oprah's not.
Stedman is not low value either. Everybody's low value compared to Mama O. I would be a fool
But that's
that's
not always the case. I have at some point dated a man who was low value.
What was he providing you?
The functionality. The what?
Functionality.
That's what you want at 35, baby. Have you been to Africa?
You know, Wakanda only come in Wakanda packages. I'm in Atlanta, baby. This is Africa. I'm not married. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
By how many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Would you consider me a high value man?
High value.
Oh man, there's so much in there, and that's gonna be throughout this episode. Oh man. What do you? I don't really know too much about Cam Newton. What do you think about him?
Oh, Cam cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? I listen to what he be saying, bro. He's a listener and reaction speaker. He listens to what people say, but then his reaction to what people say is more personal, more feeling. It's not thought on logic most times. It usually go by how he was raised and how he see things. So with that type of thinking, you get crazy ass answers. But one thing I do notice about this interview is you have 2 people that's going to give you some delusional answers and some shit that's going to make you think. Because the first thing she said was, "You got this here glass of water. You can't turn this into 7-Up, bitch. You know that 7-Up is made out of water." And okay, when we ain't gonna, but I already see where this is going.
So yeah, there was definitely some points that I'm hearing that sounds like that part of delusion, but I'm also listening to him. I'm hearing a lot of that talking point manosphere shit that I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then there is a question in there about something that he said. She asked about the kids. She thought that he had 4, he got 8, and then he says he wants more. This is a bit troubling for me because I don't recall Cam Newton ever saying he was married.
No, he said he's not married, and he put marriage at a lower stance than he put divorce because he's more afraid of divorce than afraid of being married, which I believe is a lot of people that's out here, and I believe that's what they push to a degree. What this not that they telling people not to get married or to get married, but the result. Because one thing that I've been noticing, every time you talk about marriage or divorce on there, what's the first thing people say? They never go to how successful it is.
No, they would just talk about the drawbacks and how many people get divorced or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or even when you try to stay distant from that, they want to chop up whatever's left of it.
Right. So I mean, I can see where he's coming from with it, but I think that's That's probably a good conversation too to have about
Well, I wonder what the
age you
conversation is
said.
going to be. I wonder what the conversation is going to be like between them, because he's also stated that he wants more kids, and then there comes this question, right? So you're not committing to pretty much any of the women that you're having children with, because I doubt this is going to be more. I doubt that the 8 children are from one woman. I'm just going to put that out there. I
3
don't
of them.
know, but I doubt it. And to think that you want more. So is there a thing that, if you got the means, if you got the resources, when I think of what he says, I think of Nick Cannon. If you got the means, you got the resources, is it okay for you to just be laying out babies everywhere? Because there's no way you're going to be able to see all these kids. You're going to be able to help raise all these kids, that you're going to be a great influence for all these children.
Well,
You'll have these
no,
kids in name only, but who knows what their characteristics are going to be like.
yeah, you're right about that. But with those resources, don't you believe that that will make a better prominent person than a person without?
I'm sorry, but resources only play a small factor compared to actual upbringing.
Yeah.
It's not
So
like people who are raised in lower resources are bad people. It's all about whether they receive the proper discipline and training as they came up in the world.
so
You can meet people who have resources and they're complete scumbags.
yeah. No problem with that. But what
I
I'm
was gonna
saying
tell
is,
you, like,
I'm putting in what's good with yourself. I'm talking about putting it in the middle, not all the way to the top, not all the way to the bottom. Because I understand what you're saying. People who have a lot of money and stuff like that have resources, but these people are. This is a person that has to deal with a whole different dynamic than a person who's dealing with 3 different baby mamas. This is a person who has money, who has a family, and everything that's internal is what's fucking up those kids. You see what I'm saying? It's either they either gonna either say the people who got good kids, they follow the rules shit, but you got those who's out of bounds. So not saying that it's gonna be good or bad if you have it, because if you're good with the money, you can still have the same problem as somebody who is broke who can have good kids, and then some people who are broke have fucked up kids. Most likely going to have fucked up kids, but not saying that all of them. You see what I'm saying? Like I get where you're saying, and you go. I'm trying to stick in the middle because I'm looking at this situation as a person like Nick Cannon, a person like this nigga Cam. If you that you that rich, you got that much money, but then you involved in everything that's around you, like a country Wayne, where you have multiple baby mamas that you take care of. They don't have to work no nothing. They can do what they need to do, but you take care of all your kids in a certain way to where they don't have to. You got a presence in their life, and they know this because everything is being on you. So that's basically what Nick Cannon was saying he was doing, from what my understanding. I ain't saying that I don't know these niggas' life. I don't know if they with their kids every day. I don't know nothing, but this is what this man say. He see his kids every day. So I mean, I don't know where your kids is in the world or whatever he doing. They got the means and whatever to take care of their kids. Now, if this dude want to have extra kids and he got the means to take care of it, I don't have no problem with it.
all right, I wonder what he's gonna say about that. It was something that I'm hearing from both their side. Well, mainly from his side. And I'm like, too many points that I'm already here in this manosphere space. And then he said he want more kids. I was like, damn, he got 8 and he want more. I'm like, ugh. So it just called the question quickly in my head, like, just because you have the resources doesn't mean that you need to flood the world with your G. Like, do you need to try to be Genghis Khan? That
I
was the
don't think
question.
that I don't think you need to, but I don't have no problem with you doing it. Because
Okay.
one thing I can't say to you is, man, your kids out here dusty as shit. You see what I'm saying? Because I know niggas, I got people in my family, bro, that got a lot of kids, and that nigga struggle. You know what I'm saying? He ain't as rich as Cam. He can't afford the shit that Cam can do. He a good father. He try his best to, you know what I'm saying, go to all 6 of his motherfucking kids. Probably got 7. I think he had a baby too. So you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of work.
All right. I mean, I wonder what the conversation gonna turn out with that. Let's see.
Value to high functioning.
Your speed.
I'm poking
We
speed.
going there. Hold on. Let me take this.
So let me finish
Let
this.
me take this
point.
glove off.
Let me finish this point. I say this with all respect and love. What I'm about to say next, okay, Cam?
I done let you off the hook on numerous times.
Have you? And I gave you a simple answer.
That was not simple.
I want to respond to something.
The evolution of Dr. Bryant.
Yeah, totally.
Right? I'm intrigued because as I was doing my research, I came to I was like, yo, why doesn't this is probably the most mysterious, most discreet doctor I've ever seen, because she has so much, like, yo, who is she? Has such a following, but no Wikipedia. I found that like so hard. I was like, yo, who doesn't have a Wikipedia? So I'm literally trying to find out certain things because I'm trying to go deep. You say, how deep we gonna go? I say as deep as the ocean floor.
Yeah.
So that's where I really want to kind of start. Where are you originally from?
I love that. I want to hit on the Wikipedia really quick. I don't have it because years ago, my team was like, let's do the Wikipedia. We got to do this. And my thing, again, was not for me to get into my field or even on TV with Teen Mom and co-produce shows that I produced to be a celebrity. And I'm not knocking celebrities. I did it again because for me, my purpose is, as a little girl growing up in the inner city, in the hood, to your question, growing up with abandonment issues, growing up with brokenness, and finding my way to use my platform, my books, everything about myself and everyone else's platforms, like your amazing platform, to be able to give those tools and pieces to little girls and little boys like me in the inner city, in the trailer park, I don't care where they are, who are just saying, why me and how, right? How? And so the celebrityness and the Wikipedia meant nothing to me, but the lives that I've been able to change from platforms, from being on TV, from being the president of the biggest and baddest civil rights organization, the kids who have been able to call me and say, Doc, you know, I'm in college, I've graduated, you know, I'm married with a family now, adults who are experiencing suicide ideations and mental breakdowns, who are saying, look, I'm not suicidal no more. I sold all my guns. That is my Wikipedia. That is my celebrityness. And that's my bigness for me. And so if Doc don't ever get a Wikipedia, I'm fine. But to that point, because of all the work I've done in the community, because of all the lives that I have happily been, you know, honored and privileged to change, my city, Los Angeles, has given me something that's legacy, that's, I believe, bigger than Wikipedia. My branch and myself and my founder, Joe Gatlin, we have our own street in the city of Los Angeles as a token of their appreciation for me coming in and giving back where I came from and what I've learned in the sense of coming to a place of mental health and coming to a place of a good quality of life. So I'll take that any day. But I'm a little girl, a product of teenage parents. My father was 16, mom was 15 when they got pregnant. And in the inner city, my dad was a hardcore gangster, dope dealer in the streets. He's a founder of one of the biggest Pyru gangs in Los Angeles. My mom was also, a gangster in the streets alongside my father. They were high school sweethearts, met at 10 years old. About 2 years old, when I was 2, my dad went to jail for murder and selling dope. And by the time he got out, he did his case, thank God. By the time he got out, they told my father my mom was selling A-Tracks. And back then, he thought A-Tracks she's selling A-Tracks, the record albums. She drops him off to a gym to work out, and she takes his car, and she never returns. He calls his brother, and he says, yo, Kim hasn't came and got me. Is she okay? Where's she at? Come to find out, she wasn't selling A-Tracks. My mom was doing the drug that my father was selling. And so as a little girl, coming from that, growing up with a lot of questions of abandonment, and I even was questioning God, saying, I just don't understand, why. And I know for sure, it's not just kids that question this, adults also question God with certain situations that they have, especially when it comes to being a child who's experiencing abandonment, who grew up to be an adult, who's now experiencing that little boy, little girl in you who's abandoned, me asking God, like, why I'm confused, right? And him explaining to me, baby, the only way I can give you an understanding of why is if I give you the experience. And I said, I'm good, because words don't teach, experience does. And so for me, growing up as the oldest of 7, not having anyone in front of me to witness how to do life, how to get through this, I just went into prayer, supplication, and faith in myself and God, and I became very resilient. And at that point, I understood that life was a journey that was about self-growth, by self, but about making sure that whatever God moves through me, he gives to me. So I want to make sure that whatever's coming out of me, I want to keep, 1. And 2, that whatever it is that I'm able to resolve or understand, or whatever pain pockets or trauma I'm able to navigate through, that I do have a duty, an unspoken oath to give that to any human, because it's a human right to have mental health and a good quality of life. And so that's my story in a very...
Okay, so she broke down a whole bunch of where her stuff was going on. I feel like she was going in different areas, but she kept bringing it back. I'll say this much. So far, in the small part that she's already speaking right now, I think she's a really effective communicator. She kind of walks away, but she's good at bringing herself back. She gave a story about her family. Fucked up that that stuff happens, but she still made something of herself. Apparently, she's a doctor. Sound like she's more in the psychological aspect of things. So, shout out to her right there. Uh, because she did say basically that I just lost track exactly what she said, but she believes. Let me just say once, so I don't want to mix up her words.
Because it's a human right to have mental health and a good quality of life. And so
She said it's a human right to have a good quality health, and basically, you that's the right to have that. I don't. Is that true though? Is it a right to have like a good quality of health when it comes to like not mental health, but
to give that to any human, because it's a
give that to
human right
human?
to have mental health and a good quality of life.
So it's a right to have mental health and to have a good quality of health. That if that was the case, we would have. I really think that we would have a different aspect of how people look at particular things in life, especially when it comes to quote mental health. I don't think it would be as wild and rampant as we have it today. What are your thoughts on that? Do you believe, OG, that like it should be a human right to have good quality mental health? 'Cause, think about that. That means it's something that has to be granted and prescribed. And not to mention that really sounds like to me when she's saying it. I'm not putting the words in her mouth, but to me, with the way I'm interpreting that is that it is something now that would have to be mandated to guarantee that people have that.
To answer your question, because I don't want to skip over it, the answer to that is no, sir.
Okay.
I'm with you on this, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Technically, she's right.
Okay.
I listened to what she said. I'm glad you went back and played that part so I can hear exactly what she said. She is talking about something that they give you here in the United States. This is what my mind went to with this. You're born here in the United States. You have human rights. Cool with that. Everything that you've been taught, love, Miss Lady, whatever your name is, the Brandy, whatever, the Bryant, whatever your name, whatever.
Dr. Bryant, yes.
Dr. Bryant. Okay. Yeah, you just technically you're right, but the answer to you, Resla, is no, because you you don't really have that right. I just think it's something that they made up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think everybody is supposed to have equal.
Do you think that it should be a right? It should be a right for everybody to receive mental health,
Well,
to receive forms of mental health to deal. Should they receive resources to deal with mental health?
yeah, they do receive it, and they offer that shit to a form, but you gotta. This is what they give to you. They offer that right now. I mean, they pass laws for this shit. That's why I said technically she fucking right. I can't. I don't want to keep on trying to go against why she's wrong on it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, no, I don't think that every person that's a human, bro, that has the rights. I don't see it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I see that they pushing it though, because they do. You know how they feel about the human rights.
Well, yeah, mental health right now is one of the biggest
I'm
talked
trying
about
to tell
things.
you.
Yeah,
And
it
I don't
is.
want to say the wrong thing because they fuck around and clip your ass and cut you down. Man, that shit's serious, bro. I ain't playing.
All right, that's fair. It was just very interesting. She said that. Now, Cam apparently asked about her parents, which she's already given pretty much her stance on how it happened. So I don't want to jump too far into that.
Oh, that's what she said too. She gave her little story. So yeah, that goes along with what you were saying with her speech. She do got a way of breaking that shit together and going to her point. Yeah, she's very good at that because she just put that whole little part where she made herself a victim. She made it very stronger by saying what her dad come from.
That's a
I was
big.
like, damn, bro, she went through a lot, bro. Daddy killed somebody, mama crackhead, bam. You went through the worst of the worst, huh? Okay. But you a doctor. I see you, baby girl.
Yeah, she put herself out there. She made it through the struggle.
That's a fact.
All right, so now apparently he's asking her to define true love.
So I would say it this way. I mean, you've obviously been vocal and talking about running away from things and doing this, it being trauma. Do you have a tangible source in your life, ever had a tangible source in your life that you can touch, see, feel, experience what true love actually is, a healthy relationship?
Yes.
Who is that?
Yes. My grandmother and my father. And now that my mom is sober, my mother. But in her addiction, it was my grandmother who raised me and my father, thank God, who didn't allow me to be a fatherless girl. And we were best friends.
No.
You're talking about a romantic relationship?
Yes. That relationship where we're talking about, the question was, were your parents married, right? And they weren't. So that having an impact on you, and that's why you strung them shoestrings up tight.
Yeah.
But I'm like, have you being who you are and knowing the right things and unpacking and this,
knowing them now. Yes.
Have you identified someone that you can touch, that you can call, that you know that is what you want to be? Like, instead of running away from something, you running to something that you're like, I want that. And who is that for you?
So it is not an individual. No, it's still an ideology. It's still something that I've created in my mind. And so there's not a person that I look at and I say this very humbly, besides myself, because I've done a hell of a job of working through my pain pockets. I've done a hell of a job of getting myself to a place of thriving and no longer surviving. And so that person is me. I look at myself and I say, I want to be you. I look at myself and I say, you know, I love you. I look at myself and I thank that little girl for surviving. And then that little girl looks at that woman and she says, thank you for learning to thrive, because now I'm able to be a little girl and do the things I can do. And I no longer have to protect you as a woman and show up in your relationships, because there's no place for a little girl or a child in adult relationships, not just only romantically, but professionally. And so I would honestly have to say that that woman would be me, working through, conditions of love and coming to a place of self-love. Yeah, 100%. I am who I want to be.
Okay, so this is a trigger for me. Because if you've never witnessed it firsthand, a healthy relationship, you find that source in yourself, which
Well, I never said I haven't witnessed a healthy relationship. Is there a person, you said, tangible source that I look at where I'd want to emanate or be like? No, I've witnessed healthy relationships, yes, and I've been in healthy relationships, yes. But anything that I've witnessed as far as a person that I want to be like or emanate, I don't have that. No.
So it's triggering to hear that, knowing that if things get shaky, rocky, everybody wants somebody so they can run off in the sunset with.
Keyword with.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is the thing though. And my mom is an angel. And I always love having real conversations with my mom. She's a church-going, God-fearing woman. All she knows is my dad. Oh. And I use her for a source of wisdom. And she used me for a source to stay hip.
Nice.
And she says this about relationships. Everybody wants to find a happy ending. Right. And they want to find heaven in a person, right? And run off in the sunset. But the reality is nobody wants to find somebody who's worth going to hell for. That's real love. Yeah. Because that's understanding that you're not a finished product.
Right.
You're.
Damn, OG. That's a bar.
Hey, I told you.
That's a bar.
Sacrifice, dog.
Damn.
You gotta love somebody more than you love your motherfucking self.
I never heard it that way. That just hit like I was like, damn, to go to hell with. That is some shit.
Mayo tripping on this nigga hat.
His hat is foolish, but you know,
bro,
he want to run it.
Expensive ass hat, Mayo, that he had the top cut out of, so he can wear his motherfucking hair through it. I swear to God, I'm just telling you what it is. That's this nigga style. It's stupid as shit. Look on GQ, you'll see it.
Yeah, I mean, damn, that was crazy. So I she says that she's been in quote healthy relationships. I think the question that will probably come up as to why those healthy relationships probably didn't lead to something long term. Because the key word is had. She didn't say that she has a healthy relationship, that she's had. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I think there's going to be a question if she is a person who is a doctor. I don't know if she's a doctor like psychology or she's a relationship coach or something like that. But then why would people be taking advice from someone who's quote not in a relationship? I think that's the area where, if I'm thinking about the beginning, the little montage that they did, that was one of the things he asked. Like, why would they take take advice from someone who's basically not in a relationship, or really, not a great example of that? And I don't know. I don't know. So, because there's this thing as well that people see, and it's like we live vicariously through others. You can be a good witness and to learn particular things. You may not know everything, but I don't think everybody ever knows everything. Let's be honest. Even in our relationships, we see our side of things. How many relationships go bad simply because the communication wasn't strong? Because two people are only looking at their sides. Two people only look at their sides and they never really get together to hash that out. They have their own sides, they have their disagreements, they walk away, and they just like, we don't want to talk about it anymore. We're gonna just try to pretend that didn't happen now, rather than sorting through that kind of stuff, so that therefore they can be a stronger form of communication. And not only that, to get a real full understanding as to how the other person viewed the other person's opinion, view their point of view, get an idea of the other person's point of view. And I don't think that really happens. I don't think that happens as much as it should, you know, because the game is conversation rules a nation. But I love it. It was very interesting. I love the way how Cam put it in saying, in terms of relationships, people just look for someone that they can have all the highs with, but they don't really look for someone that they will also experience all the lows with.
Well, I'm gonna
And
say
that's
that
why I
right.
love the fact that he mentioned the heaven, but willing to go to hell for it. And I'm like, damn, hell with, I should say.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I'm looking at her point. I didn't like how she. First of all, first thing I seen her do was switch it to where it was all about her knowing something and learning about it. So now she can see and progress on to something better. But the better that she's talking about is not even better than herself. You noticed that, right? So you know what a good, or you had a good uh, relationship, loving relationship, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? You know what that is, but now you're not displaying it like you just said. That's why I said I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
We want to see you display what you're talking about, that you already know what this is. But this is what throwing Cam off, because in his head, again, he don't want to. He looking at it like, well, you're telling me this, but I'm not seeing it. So another thing that's throwing me off about her, again, when she did that, she reverted right back to that first thing, that victimhood shit. I don't want
Well, I
her.
think I think a question for me is, if you were in a good relationship. I don't know if Cam or ask this, but if I hear that you've had good relationships, I want to know, then what was the reasons why you broke up? I don't see. I don't keep in mind. I'll just put it this way: I've had good relationships that just we've had to separate because we were just like too different or whatever. Most of my relationships have ended amicably. I've only really had like really one really nasty breakup. But if you have say quote you've experienced that you've had really good relationships, then what exactly was that the key definers that made you split? I wonder if you ask her that.
Not that.
You said you doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think he gonna get far into that, because he already called her. But she to the point where she's about to try to tell some other example on why she know what she's doing, and she's trying to prove to him that her knowing, by her being whatever she is better knowledge than what he's already telling her he's already been through. Because obviously he know what a good relationship is. He just choose not to have it. Just like same thing she's saying, but basically she ain't giving the part that I'm not even in one.
Well, okay, so
He's willing to put his life out there to the point where he know that he's in a relationship that is not. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 baby moms talking about you want to have another one. You see what I'm saying? So yours is out there. We see where your mind is going, but hers is still stuck on the. I
I guess
seen
that goes
good
into the
ones.
question though. I guess that goes into the question, OG. Is it? I guess it's a matter of personal perspective. When I'm hearing that now, do people consider? So do people consider just being with other people and being amicable about your approach with each other as a good relationship? or is a good relationship someone just one particular a monogamous relationship? Let me just put it that way.
I really couldn't. It'd be different for everybody until you try to narrow it down, because everybody's going to look at it like they looking at the relationship part as two different things. What she think is a good relationship might be way different from what we think is a part of what she should believe a good relationship is.
Agreed.
So I want her if she's going to explain what she think a good relationship is because of the love, why she's defining the word love.
All right, let's see what she says.
You're worth finding the best version of you.
Of yourself, yes.
And you running away or not having a person in your life that can assist, help, you go to and say, girl, let me tell you, Tyrone, he doing it again. What do you do like when Tyrone ain't answering his phone and I know he say he at work, but I don't know, I done looked at the other girl Instagram and they in the same blah, blah, blah. You know how
I get what you're saying.
detective women can be. Like, the FBI need to hire more black women because they gonna figure something out.
Right.
The black woman I know, strong, very curious, detective, go gadget information. They gonna figure that out. But you not having that source in the time of need, not when everything is good. We don't need no more invitations to the wedding or to the anniversary or to the party or to this or to that. We need people who gonna help me when I need help in an unconventional or when the situation is not so much straight and narrow.
Right.
That's why it's triggering to me.
So let me hear you right. Correct. It's triggering to you because what you hear me saying, which sounds like we have a little slight disconnect. What you hear me saying is that I don't have a go-to person when Tyrone, which I don't have a Tyrone, thank God, or something is off kilter in my world, that you hear me saying I don't have a go-to person or a resource that can help me process through that.
Correct.
Okay.
Or I can also add to that, you don't have a healthy ecosystem where I'll give you an example.
No, I got you.
Staying on point.
Okay.
It's quick. So if I take a relationship serious with an individual, it's going to be hard for that individual to understand or to fight for something if her resources are single women.
I agree.
Are bachelorettes.
I agree.
Are divorcees.
I agree.
Are certain situations. And I'm like,
100%.
So they say birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you're the only good girl out of all these?
And another thing, people give advice from their results. Right. So every day we live on the results of our decisions. And so they're giving you advice on things they have experience in. If it's single, it's experience in being single. If it's married, it's advice from a married woman. So what I'm saying is, yes, I have a strong support system. I have a healthy ecosystem. I have people that I do go to. And the Bible says, do I seek wise counsel? Yes. And I have wise counsel within my world and within my foundation.
So now, you have them now? Or?
Yes, I have them now. Yes, I have that.
But when I just asked you.
No, that's not what you asked me. Or how I received it was, is there anyone who I look to that I'd want to be like or admire? I don't have that. That person would be myself. But as far as a support system, not only do I have a therapist, not only do I have a pastor, not only do I have a mother, and I have a circle of wealth, which I call friends and support system, who, male and female, I'm single and married, who, that's why I said, some do have healthy relationships and some don't have healthy relationships, but they're all part of my ecosystem. Again, contrast, the person who doesn't have a healthy relationship is also teaching me things on what not to do and things I may not want to do. Folks like your mom, who are extremely wise, who, are still, I'm guessing from what you said, still with your dad. Right. She has a different perspective that definitely adds to, me processing through my journey, what that looks like. So I have a very equally yoked circle of resources that help me through whatever I'm going through for the clarity. But do I have somebody who I look to that I want to be like? That person is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Say again.
And she went over that real fast. So to tell us that you're going through that, but you don't, it still don't seem like you have that. Because that ecosystem that you'll have would be totally different, wouldn't it? If you wouldn't want to have the singles and with a diversity of different type of relationships around you, right? Because you're still on a movement of what? Single women, their rights and all this stuff here. She's on that path. So where is you going to come up with the couple, love, marriage? The people that you should get affected by, which is the people who is like Cam and his mom and his dad, who's been married for, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
But she said that person that she looks up to is every day in the mirror. Did you catch that? That's what she said. She said, I don't have nobody to look up to. But you gave your inner circle, which was everybody else, and nobody is doing the relationship that you're really talking about.
Right. So you're out here giving advice, but you're not really taking it from anyone else outside of yourself because you claim that you've had your own personal relationships, but somehow that's the thing that you're quote guiding people. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So a relationship that you're currently not even in. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's I can see where there could be some damage done in it. I don't know how does she how she performs quote her practice as to how she engages with people. I mean, because for all we know that she can take outer experiences, but it doesn't seem like she's really stated that. She's really only like she's teaching people based on her own experience only, which could be very detrimental. Because even Cam already said it earlier, and she even agreed to it. The worst person to speak to are people who are only in your circle, who happen to be the single, the ones who are already scorned, the people that divorcees. But if you're not even going to anyone else who has healthy relationships outside of yourself, can you really say that you are the best counsel for everybody else? Because again, the question still needs to come up: why did you not stay in your quote healthy relationship? It's a question, and maybe it'll get covered.
Now, I want to respond to something. You said there's a lot of that Black women, and I know it was a joke, but being serious, Black women are women, folks would hire to do the detective investigative work.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to find out anything. They're going to be on social media, Instagram, cell phones, all that. They're going to piece it together. They're going to figure it out. See, that's the dysfunction that I'm talking about is an issue.
Okay.
And that's also when I'm referring to low functioning behaviors. That's a choosing issue.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, not that I'm better than any other woman or they're better than me. I'm not choosing a man that I have to become a detective to. Even the men I called off weddings from, to their defense, just because I called it off doesn't mean they weren't good men. I'm choosing men who I can be a wife or a woman to. I'm not choosing a man that I could be a detective to. So when women are choosing men, I think that certain things to become aware of are, do I have to go into my detective, which is my trauma? Do I have to go into my investigative, which is my dysfunction? Yeah. Because if so, that man is triggering and bringing those things up. And he only brings those things up in you because those things are in him. Yeah. And start trusting your spirit more, ladies. And this is another thing. Women with daddy issues are going to be okay with being an investigator and a detective because oftentimes, remember, they have learned subconsciously how to investigate and detective. Why is daddy not here in the household? So it doesn't make me say, why would they not grow up thinking the norm is to wonder where you're at, to wonder what you're doing, and to wonder why you're not there, and think that that's okay based on their norm of daddy issues. I have a father who we were very well best of friends, who was extremely, extremely involved in my life, a father, a daddy, everything. So I never had to wonder or investigate my father. I never had to wonder or investigate his motives with me. Mm-hmm. So I don't navigate the world thinking that that's the norm to try to figure out or investigate on social media, through your cell phone, through anything, what your motives are, who you are, what are you doing. That is an unhealthy relationship. That is your trauma and your pain choosing for you. And I would offer that any woman who's in that situation get help. Leaving isn't easy, and to learn how to choose different, learn how to choose better, because you deserve better. And let me go further. The man who you're investigating or you're feeling like you have to do these things with, and you can't just be in a safe space, you can't nest him, he also deserves better. And his getting better is you pivoting and leaving and telling him that he needs to get some help before he can be with a woman who is of your caliber. When I say your caliber, who's willing to get help for yourself, so you choose different. Daddy issues don't mean you got to be with your daddy. It just means you got to take inventory of what daddy who you didn't have looks like and stop choosing that kind of man. Next question.
Okay. She said I'm going to you. She said a whole lot of nothing to me. Sound like she was trying to spit some game to me, but I didn't hear anything that I thought was relatively interesting what she was saying. Sound like she was trying to preach, and I don't really think, personally speaking, that she really got down to the actual message. OG?
No, I don't believe none of that shit. You hear me? I got lost when he was trying to rhyme and then he didn't rhyme and try to put some meaning behind some shit.
That's a fact. Like I was trying to hear the sermon, and I was like, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it.
Tried though.
It was a good attempt.
Next question. Okay.
Oh, he wants to know. Uh-oh. She's getting married. Okay, let's find out.
Y'all know I love going to live events. Whether it's football, boxing glove still on. And I just, for the sake of my cigar, I mean, yeah, it's about to get there. I just want to ask a simple question.
And it's going to be a simple answer.
Hopefully within the time frame of me smoking a cigar. Do you want to get married?
Hard yes. Absolutely want to get married.
So my question is, if you've never seen a healthy marriage, how are you able to identify one?
So let me answer again. I didn't grow up in a household where a healthy marriage was something that was present for learned behavior. I am 41 years old. I'm an adult who has done a lot of work. So in today's world, with my work and my healing and my old friends who I have now made new friends, I now have, and I do see healthy relationships.
But none that you want to be like, yo,
no,
I like what y'all have.
Right.
I want to emulate that.
No, and it's not because what they have isn't healthy. It's because I have a strong sense of self. And I'm not knocking people who look to other people and say, I would like that, or I get what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with that. But I have a strong sense of self. And I don't want what someone else has. I want what is aligned in God's will for me is. And so I have a strong understanding that what's for me ain't gonna look like your healthy relationship. And if I get caught up in, I want that, or I want it to mirror that, then I may be looking and meet my husband saying, you don't fit this box, which is called compartmentalizing. And my husband, who's God sending to me after all my work, doesn't need to fit a box. He needs to come authentically who he is. And my job is to love him where he is, how he is, and pray on the ways that I don't understand, because I'm not supposed to lean onto my own understanding. I'm supposed to trust God in all his ways. And when doing that, that means I'm not looking for anything externally to idolize. When I have myself in God and I know that who my husband is, I will feel it. I don't have to see it in someone else's world. And the other thing is we got to be careful with want what somebody else has from the optics, because it can look like we want this beautiful mansion and we go in that house, excuse my language, that motherfucker's more homeless than people who sleep on the street. Because just because you got 4 walls and you have a marble floors and you have a gated home and you have a 10,000 or 20,000 square foot home doesn't mean that thing ain't more homeless than the person who's in a high rise apartment, or a person who's in a single apartment living in downtown LA and they're a student who's poor. Okay, that has nothing to do with it. So I'd rather have a little apartment with my husband and baby, we got wealth, than be in a big mansion like a lot of people have done and be homeless in that thing. And I'm sitting here creating this image for my people to admire me, but I'm dying in the inside. When you talk about resources and people, I don't want no friends around me who can see me as a mansion, but let me die as a homeless person internally. I'm good. And nor do I want to be the woman who says, I want what Cam and this woman has, not knowing that when this woman goes wherever she's going, she's really speaking the real about what y'all got going, but she's not going to tell me, because she wants me to keep feeding her trauma, which is that mask and that costume she's wearing, to make people think that relationship is good. I'll pass. I'll take what God has for me, and I will continue to pray for those who I see have a healthy relationship and support them. But I don't want nothing nobody has, because it's not mine. And if it ain't yours, y'all, you can't keep it. You can't sustain it. So stop wanting things that ain't yours. Stop wanting things that don't belong to you. That's called despair. Get you some help. Get you some healing, get you a sense of self, and start wanting things that are yours. And then you may not end up with a man who's beating your ass because you're.
Jesus Christ.
I knew it was gonna come to something. I just didn't know it was gonna be that. I should have known, but my brain wasn't moving fast enough. I ain't high enough. But yeah, I knew she was gonna do it. What I tell you? What I tell you, bro? I ain't out, bro. We like to come together.
Don't do it.
I knew she was gonna go there, dog.
Damn.
Lord, Jesus. Hey, you got this one, bro.
Damn.
That's what I knew she was gonna do, nigga. God,
you talk about therapy, but you sound like you going through some other shit yourself, man. What? I mean, you talk about your own experiences and all the stuff, but then you talk about women out there getting their ass beat, as if that's even a great majority of people. Like, oh my, why did you do that? I was a lot. And like she started going and she got on her sermon, and I was just like, I feel it's about to go down. I feel like she's about to make it work.
I felt the come. I already
knew. She did not disappoint. I was like, I felt there was something going on, and I knew she was gonna reach for it. I was like, don't do it. She did it. Damn.
I thought he was putting her on jets and buying her Birkin bags and taking her to nice restaurants when she was going home getting her ass beat. But you wanted it though, right? Be careful what you ask for. Start asking God, reveal to me what I'm saying I want, so I understand the transparency of it. God, reveal to me what's mine, so I can have that. And I don't end up praying to you to get out of it. And I don't rush to the altar just to become a divorcee or a baby mama or a baby daddy. We don't want what nobody else has. We want what's ours, because that is good enough.
So inadvertently, she just shitted on this man.
Yeah.
Sitting right across from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if people point that out. That was crazy. All right. She talking strong.
Caught that pic.
You caught the pic. Just because you talking loud, just
I
because
wasn't loud.
just because your voice is
I wasn't
inflected,
loud.
just because you're leaning forward to your
I
camera,
wasn't loud.
doesn't mean you just caught a pic.
I'm talking to my people. I'm talking to my people. Who I
All
want
I'm
to get
trying
right.
to say is you took something completely out of context when I said your resources around you that you said.
Yes, we cleared that up though.
Yeah, but the resources that you have around you of healthy relationships,
They are.
not that you want that. You said you took what I said, and yeah, I said I want that, but it's not. I want
No,
what they have.
I don't.
It's more of an admiration for what they have,
No.
and it's like, yo, like I admire that about their relationship.
There you go. Now, hold on. That's no, because the latter part, I have single girlfriends I admire how they are as women. I have married girlfriends who I do admire their relationship, meaning I love that it's healthy for you. I love that you and him
Yeah, but
are
you're talking
doing
about
this.
mansions and beating and all that. I ain't mentioned none of
Hold
that.
on,
I just said,
Cam, if it went over your dreadlocks, bring it back.
yeah,
Let's
but
stay
you're
here.
talking about you catching pics, but you just over here just you on a TV timeout.
Cam, we're not on the football field. Let's bring it back here.
Yeah,
I
but you
took it
used
to the
that- no.
football field. I'm sorry. We're back here. I brought it back, baby. I'm
Say
sorry. I'm so
that.
sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm not fleeing. I'm here.
Say less.
I'm here. Yeah.
So all I was saying is you saying that that's what I like is more of a wordplay to saying I admire what they have and I want to implement that into my relationship as well. Single people can't coach relationship people. And I think that is what happens too often. So when I'm asking questions about resources, when I'm asking questions about you, hard yes for a married man, I'm saying I'm triggered when I hear that as a man.
Yeah.
When I ask you, do you have healthy marriages that you've seen, witnessed, been a part of, or admired? And you clearly said no.
And I clearly said yes. But my admiration doesn't go as far as, in your exact words, I would want that. No, I don't want anything that somebody else says. I want to help them have more of the good stuff.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
pause this real
But
quick. First of all, love, you didn't say yes, but it's even go if you did. It's even go if you did say yes. You still go against what you're saying because the one that you just sat here and told him that you was about to get married to, that you walked out on at the altar or whatever, you were trying to make a valid point of that you was this boss chick or whatever. But besides all that, you walked away from this man, but then you still told Cam he was a what? Good man. And you seen it no matter what.
You had an example. You had a clear example and you still turned around and you left. Said it yourself.
But you rather take advice from the people that you see that's in a single relationship. You should put a single relationship person's thoughts and feelings and wherewithal over a person who's married that you see they in a relationship which you think is cool, but you don't agree with them. Probably because this motherfucker is submissive to her husband. And probably she do what her husband, she probably sees something that she don't want to become. She likes the marriage part, but she don't. She's talking a little too fast for me. I don't know what's going on with her. She needs to slow it down and even think about what she's saying before she says it.
That's
herself.
Yeah, she's talking
no,
fast.
no, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about she's overthinking. That's what I meant to say. Not like she's just. I know it's sped up.
No, I don't think she. No, that's the thing. I don't think she's thinking at all. I think she's rehearsed it so much in her head that it just flies out. I don't think she's really thinking about. So, for instance, like I say, you have the conversation with somebody, but you should be very aware of the audience. She ain't paying attention to this man. She's strictly talking to the audience. She's got points that she just wants to make out.
Yeah. And that's why I say I don't think she's listening to what she's saying, because even she's trying to backtrack herself into making her points. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. If you said it the right way the first time and you were so stern on what you said, stand on it and keep on going, because all of the stories that all the examples you're going to bring up is going to relate to your point.
I agree.
But it's not working for her. So Cam just called it slipping. But yeah, she did try to just stump on this nigga a few minutes ago, didn't she?
Okay. Yes, she did.
Okay. Hey, I'm just saying.
No, I definitely caught it. I 100% caught it. And I'm just like, girl, like, get it together. Get it together. I don't know where she's gonna take it, but like I said, she already gone to the point where now she's just totally messed up everything she have. What else she was talking about here? She got the high and low expectation. I think this they might be talking about Cam now because he's been focusing on her. And then it says, "Can men truly understand love?" Oh my gosh, I really hate that. Let me see what they were doing here.
When I say she doesn't need you, it doesn't mean she's independent. That means she is interdependent. I only not need you because my pain doesn't need your pain. My dysfunction doesn't need your dysfunction to feed it for us to be in this relationship, meaning I don't need a trauma bond with you.
Mhm.
Okay? She wants you because she wants the healed part of you, but has the capacity, because we're all human, we ain't perfect, to facilitate and deal with the unhealed part of you that's going to show up in the relationship at some point. And hers is going to show up too. Mine is going to show up too. And so that's why I always say, I want a hybrid. I want a hybrid for y'all out there who want to know, meaning a man who's high functioning enough to meet my healthy high functioning, but low functioning enough to deal with me when my abandonment inflames, to deal with me when some of my dysfunctions that I'm still working on inflame. Because if he's too high functioning, guess what? He doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with the low functioning part, which then means he can only connect with
Pause it.
folks who are.
Pause it. Okay. Yo, let me see. This is that type of shit. I hate to
It's
say
that
this,
bullshit.
motherfucker. It's retarded. She's saying, okay, high functioning health. Okay, she's talking about if a nigga can stay. She's talking about sex, y'all. This motherfucker is fucking retarded. She is. if she's up here and you way up here above her and you trying to get it and she's going through her psycho depressed mode and she ain't trying to get you none, she don't want you going out sneaking around doing other things because she's in her moment and she's a woman and she can do what she wanted. Don't listen to her. Bro, I'm gonna let you deal with this. You know I gotta get ready for the show. Appreciate you, brother. You
No
killing
problem.
it. Keep on doing your thing, dog. With this one right here, dog. Well, yeah, she cold blooded. We got to, man. We might have to see her on DVD. I ain't gonna
Oh,
lie.
absolutely,
We
absolutely.
might have to see her on. Yeah,
Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to climb through all this stuff that she's. Like I said, we're not even halfway in it. She's already on some bullshit.
oh, yeah, she cold blooded.
Well, OG, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Of course,
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
guys, if you haven't already, be sure to check out OG Do Dirty. Check out his channel. I'm actually I'll put your link in the chat. I'll put your
Appreciate
link
you.
in the
Appreciate
chat.
you.
And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to OG. He's got some stuff going on. He's actually gonna get ready for his stream coming up.
Yeah,
Um,
we
and
up in 10 minutes.
OG, you and I need to talk about getting you redirected. So like if I do these streams or whatever, I know you go through on Saturdays, and I can just redirect everybody to your channel right after.
Got you.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Later. Yeah, folks, listen, I don't. She's all over the mark. She says one thing early, Eric, well, especially where her and Cam is pretty much going after this whole thing earlier. Then you talk about now. She's already spoken on the fact that all her trauma and everything else, and she's not really redirecting by getting healthy relationships. You know, healthy relationships with actual people together outside of what she claims to be her grandmother, her father, and her now sober mother, which didn't speak really much into the parallels of relationships. She really only spoke to the fact that she speaks very highly on the single women that she respects and such, not necessarily on those in relationships. But then when we get into this whole thing about people being together, and I know I skipped forward a little bit, but the words coming out of her mouth are then, or remember, she was also talking about the women that were getting their ass beat or whatever. But then when you speak on it now, when she's getting a conversation about, she gets into this whole diatribe, essentially talking about the difference between high and low functioning men. And when she is in an area that's all messed up, he needs to be able to be so balanced that he needs to go down and basically restrain her tumultuous ass during those times, rather than she shouldn't be seeking any. And I'll just put it out that she shouldn't be seeking a relationship until she has actually fixed herself. Because what's the saying? Hurt people hurt people. Why would he be a high functioning person and he has to dip into the lower aspects to be able to quote rein you in? If we like to say that, because this is my thing that I can't stand when I hear young ladies or even older ladies say this, I'm strong, he can't handle me. You're not livestock. He should not need to handle you. He should not need a leash or reins to hold you in, to put you into place. That's your job. That's not his. Like, what are we doing here? Why would he need to when you are all broken and first of all, you need to get this whole thing where people like to say the struggle, right? The struggle of, 50-50 coming in. I'm a person that say you need to be 100-100. You need to have your shit together when you are getting in this relation. Unless you're starting in early with each other, really early with each other, and you're building up over time. I don't have a problem with that because you're growing and you're figuring yourselves out as well as figuring each other. But as a grown adult, especially if she's talking about someone in her 40s, child, please. I don't want to be hearing about you saying that there's some man out there that needs to, while he's on his high function, needs to come down and rein you the fuck in when you losing your shit. No, you need to go sit in the corner and figure your shit out. You need to go somewhere, close the motherfucking door, sort your shit out, and then get back to it later. That's just, hey, I'm sorry. I was tripping. I was tripping. My bad. My bad. I was tripping. I got it. I got it all out of my system. I'm good now, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be managed. All the other shit of saying that you need to throw it on somebody else. That's not it. That that's honestly that's some bull. That's some bull. Let's get a little bit more what's going on here.
Are not being fully authentic within themselves. Meaning you may have a loving relationship, but you won't have a fully, because if he's too high functioning, guess what? He doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with the low functioning part, which then means he can only connect with folks who are not being fully authentic within themselves. Meaning you may have a loving relationship, but you won't have a real intimate, deep, vulnerable relationship. I'm a woman who seeks connection and vulnerability. I'm not into casualties or casual sex, just TMI or not, meaning I like the depth of things. And so I need you to see me. I need you to see my broken. I want you to see my heart, whatever that.
Why should someone else have to experience your broken? It's one thing when people decide to take that on, and I would advocate for people not to do so. I get it. We know, as people like to say, you can't help who you fall in love with. I'm a little on the fence about that, but let's just run with it. But the idea that someone should have, again, if we're CCD, actually, I think you said it earlier. Hold up, I was looking at it earlier. It's not about asking people to help make your relationships work, but rather how to make them better. You as an individual being in a relationship with somebody, you should be looking for aspects and ways to get better. If it means that for you not to trauma dump or you to be an undue burden upon your partner, that you go seek some help, you should go about doing that. Not thinking that that person should be the one to quote fix you. That's not the way that's supposed to work. Why should have somebody else? I think one of the things that she said uh early in the montage, I'm trying to remember the montage, was like, uh people have daddy issues, but they shouldn't look for someone to be their daddy. If that is the case, why are you bringing your trauma, if you want to put it this way, your daddy issues, and thinking that some other guy should have to fix that for you? Go seek some professional help. And there should be no shame in that. And in fact, if the guy really wants to keep with you because you are willing to take those steps, because he knows that you're going out of your way to make sure that you are trying to make sure that you both have the most successful relationship that you can, I don't have a problem with that. But to think that you're just gonna have your days where you flip out like some fucking cat and he needs to be the one to just deal with the fallout is absolutely crazy. That he should stop whatever he's doing to deal with your instability. That's just, it's not right. It's not right in my opinion. And the fact that she advocates for that, but then, she said, I don't want any casual, but I do think that someone should casually have to deal with my bullshit, is absolutely crazy, especially if she's saying that as someone who quotes give people advice and as someone of her years. She's literally a year younger than I am. What are you talking about?
comes with, and I'm not embarrassed about it. I'll tell you about it. I'll show it to you. And I'm okay with a man who can facilitate it. But what a high functioning man may do is if he's all the way high functioning, he has already cut off the side of him that is authentic, and there's a superficialness there that won't allow him to connect with a real person. So can he still love and experience love? Yeah, love has it just loves everything. But will he experience the depth of some of the wholeness of love, meaning the down, the up, the ugly, the heaven, the hell mom was talking about? No. And let me say this really quick. And this is why trauma bonds usually feel like the most intense, in love, deepest relationships, because you got two at the epitome of vulnerability, pain pocket people who are bonding. And most people who are low functioning are exactly who they are. Exactly who they are. Doesn't make it bad for being who they are. Exactly who they are. That's their pain, their trauma. They're going to flee, they're going to scream, they're going to hit, they're going to do whatever comes up. Right? Fuck it, I'm mad. Whatever comes up, there's no awareness, there's no stop, there's no nothing. I'm triggered, I'm inflamed, we just go, let's tear this thing up. Right? High functioning only means, Cam, that I feel them same feels. I still feel, see my language, you got me fucked up. I'm ready to go there. I'm flamed, I'm triggered. It's all there, right? But it's still dormant. It's still in me. And high functioning means I can regulate those emotions. Watch this and say, okay, right now I'm ready to rip this man's head off. Right now he got me all the way fucked up. Okay, so how do I relay that message to him where it's going to be respectful, it's going to be non-combative, and I'm going to disarm him while he still knows you got me fucked up? Because I don't have to say those words for you to know, I think I went too far with Doc. And you still feel respected and loved, so that I just disarmed you and we can still have an engaging, emotionally intelligent conversation that ends in resolve.
Folks, who's signing up for this? Think about what she said. And you know what? Maybe it's just over my head. I like to think that I listen. I like to think that I listen very intently, but maybe it's at the point where even I have to say, someone needs to womansplain this to me. Because all that bullshit she said, and I'm gonna call it straight up, was bullshit. Nobody should have to go through. It made no sense for anyone to see that as something acceptable. It could just be me, but there's no way I could see somebody just shaking their head going, yes, sis, that's what I'm talking about. To say yes. No. That's crazy. She bopping with the got me fucked up. Like she ready to spit a verse. Yo, calm the fuck down. No one should be that edgy, and people who are that edgy should be left the fuck alone. They should be left alone. You know, like they said you have to buy the CDs, you have to buy the cassette tapes. You know, when they said too hot for TV, you too hot for a relationship. You shouldn't be in one. You need to sit your behind down somewhere and cool the hell off. That's crazy. I can't. I don't know if it's because of she being a crack baby or not. I don't know. We don't know she's a crack baby. I'm not gonna dive into that.
Whether resolve means win-win, because resolve is really win-win, or one person wins or none, and we agree to disagree, and we can still go to the cigar lounge and have a drink, and you have your cigar. But
wait. So which one is it? Is it both of us is a win-win, or one of us is a win-win, and then we can go? Which one is it? Why not just say it's a win? Like if a person is just one-sided and they win, and the other person that they both agree it's a win, well, what do we say? Because guess what? Not for nothing, you two lose is kind of a win too, because you ain't getting nowhere anyway. You ain't getting nowhere. You went nowhere fast. In fact, most people, or not even most people, those people are going through that kind of shit where they're bouncing back and forth. They're doing all that bullshit and they got nowhere. And quite frankly, anyone on the outside, because most of those people are stupid, I'm just going to put it straight out there. Most people should be looking at them and then looking at the relationship and saying, he ain't the one. Yo, she ain't the one. Y'all need to split. And not for nothing, this is something that I tend to see with very low, I'll put it that way, low vibrational people. Y'all don't need to be with each other. There, you don't need this whole the worst thing I hate hearing that I ever heard was this quote struggle love. It is the worst concept of something I've heard. The fact that I can see people in 2023, 2024 celebrate motherfuckers like Blueface and Krishan Rock. The most tumultuous things to see amongst each other, fighting, throwing shit, fighting, stupid fuckery, and to think that well, that's great. Motherfuckers who even in the comic book world will turn around and say, the Joker and Harley Quinn, true love, struggle love. Do you understand how abusive that relationship was between? What? Okay, cool, cool. But this is what y'all advocate for. This is your queen to be.
Functioning people going to tear this thing up with no emotional regulation. They're also going to choose a person who does it with them and allows them to do it. Because I only can do to you what you allow me to do. Because if I start cutting up in here and you say, Doc, we love you, love to have you here, but you got to go and you're not welcome back. There's no pun intended. That's not our culture here. Guess what? I can't do that again. And that's not called fleeing. You emotionally, intelligently said, Doc, love you here. You're a great guest, but that's not our culture. We don't do that here. Now I have a choice to make. Do I want to be in a relationship with Cam? Do I want to be welcome back here? Self-inventory. You just did me the best favor you could have ever did. By excusing me, you blessed me. Because now I got to look at myself and say, what needs to be done for me to fit in this? Now let's flip it. I'm with a dude who's turned up. He's a womanizer. He got all these women. He spent money on me. He treated me good. And what you said earlier, he D's me down. You didn't say you would D me down, but use the D word, clarity. He D's me down. And so I come in and I tell him, no, I'm just like, I'm not a woman. I'm like wholesome. I'm not into casual sex. I don't do all that, but I'm in love with him. And he lets me know, check this out, baby. Daddy love you. There's a place for you here, but not like that. You got to be able to do these things. Check back in when you can. That woman has a choice to make too. She goes and takes self-inventory and says, do I want to do these things so I can fit in with daddy? Or do I want to stay true to who I am? Either way, it's a choice. But high-functioning people have the ability to take a step back internally, not physically, process what they feel, hear their emotions in the real space that they're saying, because my emotions curse people out and things all day. But I regulate it, code switch it, deliver the message so you're receptive to it and you feel it with love. But I'm saying the same damn thing I was saying.
Did you hear, ladies, for the 2.4 ladies that are in this space right now with me? Did you hear the mental gymnastics? Did you hear this shit? Did you hear those twirls and those fucking flips? Did you not hear the Simone Biles level mental gymnastics that was happening on while she's sitting on that damn chair? But keep in mind, she also mentioned the high frequency person going through all this shit, but she mentioned earlier, just earlier, that the needed to be on the low frequency to handle that. Now she's talking about a matter of choice, but before she was talking about people who need to be on the both balance of spectrum to be able to take that shit. If he's high functioning, he'll give you a choice, and it's for you to figure your shit out. That's what you're saying now, but that's not what you were advocating for just earlier. You were saying you need a hybrid. Now you're saying he needs to be high so he can make that discernment and then give you a choice. Rather than before, you said he needs to know how to get to the low as well so he can play in the fucking mud with you. Why? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to guys? If you want to take a look, at it, after the show, I will put it in the description box. You can check out the rest of this interview. We only got about 52 minutes into it, 53 minutes roughly into it. We got a whole extra hour and changes still going on to it. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more on the DVD, but we are past that 3 hour mark. We are past the 3 hour mark. She's been too much for me right now. She's doing too much. I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm sitting there going, I could get as sober as I could. I could be snorting coke. There's no way in the world what she's saying right now makes a whole lot of sense. She says one thing, It's just the other thing. She says back this here. Like we're literally playing hopscotch in her mind in real time. In real time. You you're absolutely right. She doesn't know. Worse that she doesn't know what she wants. She's making it seem like this is the way how people should be thinking. Not even what the matter of what she wants, but this is what she makes it think seem like other people may want this as well. And she's out there, quote, giving other people advice. She's giving them advice. What what more can we do about it? Listen, what more can we do about it? She's out there giving people advice, saying all this stuff. It's absolutely insane. And we're supposed to just be able to just rock with this. I feel I feel bad about the people who are receiving her messages, right? And they're thinking, sis, she's on point because they feel like how she felt when she spoke about the other women, that she's strong, that she's independent. Hold up. Making sure I don't have you guys blasting. What up? It's crazy right now that she could do all this stuff. She could say all this stuff, that she's moving all around the board, that she's not really giving all the messages she wants, that she turns around and freaking attacks this man for what he does. I don't agree with some of the things that Cam says as well, but she didn't make a good representation of herself. And again, there's still so much more time. Maybe she might redeem herself. I'm not betting on it. I'm gonna pause it right here, and guys, we could take a look at this maybe another time, maybe even a little bit on the DBD. If you don't know about the DBD, it's called the Drop By Discussions. We do it on Tuesday nights, technically Wednesday morning. It at 1 a.m. on Eastern for OG time for Central. It'll be for 12. So be able to check that out. Remember, so that Tuesday night, Wednesday evening. The best way to figure it out is to watch the porch versus the thin black line, and then afterwards, pretty much the show happens. With that being said, I am going to be reviewing a couple of things, not this, but reviewing a couple other things as well. Guys, we're running almost close to episode 50. I'm trying to think about some things that what I'm going to be doing for myself, and be on the lookout as we start the last quarter of this month. Be on the lookout that I'll be popping up, doing a little bit more episodes, doing a lot more stuff that's been happening. On top of that, if you manage to see me out in these spaces, because I've been moving a bit these spaces now, you will see me on other shows. So if you manage to see me there, show a little love. Say what's up. Spam Resla. So these content creators can get to know who I am as well, and we can actually make this community a little bit bigger. Guys, I am very much appreciative of everybody who showed up today. Shout out to OG who actually showed up on the show today. And if you haven't, we gotta talk about this so we can do the redirect thing. But if you haven't, please be able to show his to go to his show. Actually, I'm already screwed up already, guys. And in case you want to, you should be doing his show by now. Here goes his link in the chat. Let me just put that a few times so that you guys can actually do your thing. This is where his channel is gonna be. He will be going live. He should be live almost about right now. So you can check out his chill session he's going on. I'm gonna pop up there, see what's going on. So hopefully I'll see you guys there as well. And you'll see me. We'll definitely have a show for next Wednesday, but I may be doing some other clips, some other shows for early parts of the week or so. I haven't really figured out a schedule I want to give to you guys, but when I do, it'll go to my community page, and of course I will announce it here on the show as well. Until then, guys, I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and of course, you stay opinionated. Later, y'all.